Okay.
Yeah.
We could be
The crew will
we could
also do what upgrades you get, what kind of things you're going for as far as turf. Like it makes a difference on those that part as well. But yeah, the crew is your guild, so to speak.
Yeah,
The characters are characters.
yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
we
Well,
could we
which
could all play the same type of character. We could be a crew of bravos that are all cutters if we wanted,
sure,
and they'll
but
all be different because of the way character making goes,
right.
which is
So what
interestingly
crew do
fast.
we want to pick? If that's the first thing we need to pick.
So has everyone seen Rome?
Yep.
So like
No,
my
No.
fa- okay, my favorite like depiction of a thieves guild was the way they did the collegia in Rome. They were essentially like bravos, like which on the surface it's kind of similar to like the modern mob, where on the surface it's about protecting the neighborhood, but under the hood it's really about extorting the shit out of the people in the neighborhood.
It's been so
Uh,
long since I've seen
Peaky
Rome.
Blinders. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Peaky Blinders is a. Although I mean, they were still bound by like quite a bit more honor than the Peaky Blinders were, but
I don't know. Well, it depends on how you determine honor, but yes.
yeah.
There's one thing in the game that basically says like to remember you're playing criminals. You're not vile people. Like you're not like backstabbing each other all the time. You're a crew that's come together. I think we're all people also know that you can be criminals. You can do evil acts without like looking at the person next to you all the time and going, "How do I murder this person?"
I meant honor as in more like the way they treat the neighborhood, not each other
Yeah.
necessarily.
Sure.
So, of those, which sounds more interesting? Assassins, bravos, cults, hawkers, shadows, smugglers, or vigilantes?
I don't have vigilantes in my book.
I don't know where that one. I think may have been something released later. It
Well, that was
seems,
the one that was most attractive to me right off the bat.
yeah.
But
I'll say for me that's the least Blades in the Darky.
I would say assassins or uh, shadows would be my next.
Yeah,
But I'm up to whatever.
I don't think the vigilantes are an official. I'm not showing it on in the stuff that I've gone and downloaded uh, from the Kickstarter stuff.
Hmm.
It's not one of the ones on there. So that may have been one someone created. It seems like someone's trying to dull. I mean, I haven't looked at the thing, but it's like they're kind of trying to dull the edge of Blades a little bit.
You know, I guess we could be assassins and be vigilantes if you want.
I we could. Um, I don't know. I like shadows. I kind of
Shadow.
wanted to play bravos just because I don't. I wanted to play something out of my normal stuff, but anything here is fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. We
Like
can even roll if we want.
I'm leaning towards like Bravo shadows, or maybe even smugglers. But Bravo Shadow is probably my top two.
Out
Okay.
of bravos and shadows, which sounds better to you, Dave?
Um, let's go Bravos.
All right.
Bravos, it is.
So I will type that in. So you'll notice now a whole bunch of stuff just popped up on the screen
Yeah.
for the crew sheet.
Magic, dude.
Woohoo! I did not-
Beauty.
Did you make this sheet or download it?
Oh God, no! If I could make sheets, like if I knew how to make sheets, there would be a whole bunch of like not well known games that would have some cool ass sheets instead of me having
Okay.
to throw it all uh,
Gotcha.
in the little text thing. Um, okay, let me bring up the thing on a little bit of crew creation. So yeah, we've got the. So you start off with 2 coin in the coffers. If someone wants to put the 2 there.
I got
Um,
it.
Yeah, you're 2-0. You have a stronghold and you've got 0 rep. That is where you begin.
Zero what?
0 rep.
Reputation.
Yeah, reputation is what lets you move because like reputation lets you move from like 0 on up. Because I think you start was it strong at 0? Yeah,
Yes.
stronghold, which means the first time you bring stuff up, you have to get like what 9 rep. So
Yes.
each bit of turf, turf actually makes it so that you need one less rep to go up one, with a maximum of 3, what 6?
Six. So you can get it down to where you only need 6 rep to go up.
Yeah. So it'll take you the week of the next one, and then you can go up to strong, and then you can go up to the next tier above that. So it does take a little bit of time to work your way up. So one thing that you want to talk about is your layer. Now,
Layer has to be. It's probably it's not very nice. It could be like the back of a storefront, or
Yeah.
it could be an abandoned house or warehouse, or it could be like an abandoned rail car, or an abandoned crumbling tower.
half
But
sunken
it's
grotto. This is also
Yeah.
a city with tons of canals going through it.
Yeah, it's like there. It's got a touch of Prague, a touch of Venice. There are also many levels. So like there are bridgeways that go over everywhere. You know, a multi-tiered city that is handled by a lot of wooden and stone bridges. Um,
About like a boathouse taxi service as a front.
well, those are called gondoliers. They're literally gondoliers.
Yeah,
Um,
a building is all right. Gondolier house.
but we could be in the back. We could be in a room behind a gondolier. I don't know what a gondolier.
Jack,
Gondolier
Yeah, a
house.
gondolier hack.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. I think maybe the back room of a tavern would be cool.
Yeah.
And easy, convenient, and very Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, or I assume this is a bit more traditional fantasy in the sense that like this is hidden because like in the thing in Rome was that they were like official like recognized organizations.
These aren't official recognized organizations. However,
This tavern, not the back room of a tavern.
well, yeah. However, it's like one of the things is you owe like you kick money up to another crew. I mean this whole city on the neighborhood to neighborhood level and even a bit bigger is essentially run by different crews. There is a government, but the fact that there are these different crews that hold a ton of sway is not particularly well hidden because everyone knows that they exist.
And technically, the government is the biggest gang of all.
Oh well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but this is escapism, Mikey. So let's.
Yeah.
leave
No,
that.
no, I mean in terms of
I know.
gameplay, the government is like a tier 4
Yeah, yeah,
gang.
yeah. Like I said, I've read through it. I just haven't actually played it to see how it all works together.
I'm trying to let me pop up layers real quick on the crew because it says pick a layer.
Yeah, you actually just mentioned on page 93 is the
Yeah, I'm looking
Is
at
the
it
thing.
now.
yeah. So
A small abandoned, the unassuming back rooms of a merchant shop, an abandoned watchtower atop a crumbling ancient wall, a half-sunken grotto in the city's maze-like underground canals. I kind of like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's got like a nice feel to it.
Let's vote. Half-sunken grotto.
I'm in here looking grotto.
That's two of us said yes. It's a half-sunken grotto.
Plus, it does that cool thing that it looks really cool, but it drives the lighting people crazy because when you have the things in there, you get that light sort of shimmering on the wall from.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking there's like grates in the ceiling that are like the street above or the storeroom of the tavern or something
Mhm.
like that.
We need a cool name.
Yeah. But we do need to be like next door to a tavern or something, so that can be the first thing we take over.
Well, the first things that we technically we can, if we're going to take over something, we can do any of these. But the farther away from the center, if you're looking at the crew sheet, the farther away from the center of the crew sheet, the harder it is to take.
And also,
So-
if you haven't built, if you haven't taken over the ones that take you on your way towards those places.
Right.
But like
So-
we could just say turf is just some nameless tavern. It
Yep.
doesn't have some
Right.
mechanical benefit.
Exactly. Or street fence could also be a tavern.
Yeah.
Or terrorized citizens could also be a tavern.
Huh.
Very easily.
Informants will probably be another tavern.
Yeah.
We run through the taverns of the city.
Or a whorehouse.
which really is just a tavern with a few more waitresses.
That's a tavern with benefits.
I've officially broken my fridge.
Tavern where the glasses aren't the only things that are wet.
Anybody else have a lot of friends doing like headstands on, like yoga headstands on Instagram?
No.
Nope. A, I don't have a lot of friends, and B, I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram. So,
I'm going to take a quick bio break.
Okay.
is there like a headstand challenge going on or something?
Well, I know a lot of people from the pole fitness place that I MC for. So there's been a lot of they've been doing like classes and stuff online. I'm gonna refill my drink.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Fine. I see you'd mentioned like the pole fitness. That half of my derby league does pole, so I do get a lot of pictures about that on social media.
Yeah, almost all of my uh, burlesque troupe also does teaches there.
I don't know if there's a set cadence and rhythm to the way the names are made, but I just made up a name. So
The guild or for your character?
for my character.
Oh.
Or will we have pre?
Here's this. Did you Bunkhauser?
Yeah.
I erased that because that's your guild. This is for your guild. That's not your character sheet.
Oh, got it.
Actually, that's not a bad name for a bunkhouse. So
Yeah. So the thing is, like the sheet we're looking at right now, that's for your crew.
Okay.
So yeah, otherwise we have to put like this on everybody's. So it's
Right.
easier just to go ahead and put one and say this is simply going to be for the crew,
Sure.
and this is the one that we're looking at. And when Mikey gets back, we'll do.
So we our lair is a half sunken grotto in the city canals. Cool.
Where is my shipment? It's getting further away. Yes, and Mikey knows this. I'll let you two know the way that the loop of this game goes. So you've got like your sort of like the freeform sort of the role playing stuff that happens like in between scores. You have a score, and that's after that score you have downtime. You also usually have heat or other things that result from that score. So you've done the thing, and now it's like, okay, so what? Because you've done this, what are the like? What happens because of it? And your heat will also give other
domino
things.
effect.
Yeah, so basically, like, you have to deal with things that happen. And you'll. There's also a roll you make basically to see. Okay, so now that you've had, let me pull up the thing here real quick. Like, you have entanglements afterwards. Get your payoff. Look at the wanted level, and then there's like a D6 roll, and they can kind of go through it. Someone with your rivals. There's gang troubles or usual suspects. Or like different things depending on what your heat level's at, or how much heat you got. You roll dice according to your wanted level, and so you roll that each time. And so what ends up happening is you get you get these natural consequences that sort of flow out of the last thing you did. So as you go, like new drama and such, new things that you have to worry about. Oh, you pissed off someone. You've maybe done some stuff that have pissed off a specific gang that's near you. Like your status with them has dropped down into the war territory, so now they're coming after you.
Okay.
And you can end up with status with different factions. Let me pull up the faction sheet real quick. This one, faction mode. Yeah, like there's a bunch of factions. We'll generate the factions of different like you might have like the Hounds or the Lost or something, and if you get down to like -3, you're at war with that person. You can go up to 2 or 3 as well. Yeah, status -3, which means you lose 1 hold while the war persists. Essentially, you may get knocked down a tier temporarily, but you have a thing where essentially now because of this war you can't kind of keep as close a handle on things. Any other scores you do become a little more dangerous because everyone's kind of coming after you. Like the cops start to become aware of this war. The bluecoats. You lose like one of your downtime actions in between scores, and you get half the income. So if wars come up, those are things that you start to like try to work on, either making up or destroying the other one, or doing whatever you can to stop the war.
So blue coats are the cops, right?
Yep.
That's what you said. Okay.
Like there's also a faction sheet. And you also notice I put for everybody. Actually, let me just change the names of these real quick just to make it easier. Because it always gives you those like random names. There are character sheets that I created.
Oh, I clicked on one and it just changed the name to me.
Oh, I literally had just changed it.
Oh, I guess.
You may have just opened it up as I made that change.
What are the circles on the right? The colored like.
Oh, the colored circles. They tell you the blue means everyone can see it.
Oh, okay.
And then
our login colors.
Yeah, your login colors show that who's able, like if you're able to edit it.
Okay.
Okay, so we can go in and start editing these.
I would wait. Let's wait to talk when Mikey gets back, because we'll talk a little bit about the various types of characters. Because while you could all be a single playbook, it's usually a better idea to have a mix. Partly just because there's a lot of cool things these ones can do. But
Sure.
I'll let you two know because he already knows this. The character types. Cutter is a dangerous and intimidating fighter. The Hound is a deadly sharpshooter and tracker. The Leech is a saboteur and technician. The Lurk is the infiltrator and burglar. A Slide is a manipulator and spy. The Spider is a devious mastermind. The Whisper is an arcane adept and channeler. They do a lot of stuff with ghosts. So those are the various types of character. But since we got Mikey back, we can kind of finish up some stuff with your crew.
Cool.
So you start off with the two. One thing we might want to decide, and we can kind of take a look on the town. Where do you want your lair to be at? Because Crow's Foot is not a bad place to start because it's got like it's relatively poor in that area. You've got a lot more of the criminal class. You're not like necessarily next to like rich merchants and some of the bigger gangs. But I don't know if you want to choose a place that you are starting out from.
I think it needs to be one of the lower income places. So Crow's Foot is a good one for that.
Okay.
I don't have all my stuff right in front of me because I'm not on the right. There we go. Oh, look, right there it is.
Crow's Foot was like an average income place.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the lower income.
It's
stuff.
the one that's most known for street gangs and open criminal activity.
I say we just start with that. Let's just start with Crow's Foot.
Okay.
It makes life easy.
Yeah. The other problem is the maps are in different orientations. Yeah.
Yeah, the map that's on the desktop here,
Mhm.
that's north is up. But a lot of the maps have north to the left.
Yep. And I can put something in there later because like one thing, depending on how long we like, if this is something we just do a couple times or something we want to keep doing. If it's something we keep doing, one thing I'll do is actually start like doing like a little bit of like outlining here to show, especially the around you.
Mm-hmm.
When we decide here where the other gangs and such in that area are, and start sort of putting the stuff there. So you're in this
I'm gonna play a cutter because it's totally not my MO.
Oh, a couple things before we get to the character stuff, though.
Okay.
Your hunting grounds. So you've got a hunting grounds. This is the place you target for your scores. So we've got that place, but you have basically a place where you have to people that you kick money up to.
Yeah.
So what you can do, we can tell you what faction claims the area. I may check that when you look at some character stuff. But you have a choice. You can pay them off. You start off with 2 coin. You can give them one of those coin. Did they give you room to work? You're not kicking money up. If you give them 2 coin, you also get a +1 status with that particular gang. If you keep your money, you take a -1 status with the faction, and you're getting closer to some troubles with them.
I at least want to pay the money. I think that I want to pay the money, but it's up to you guys.
Oh yeah.
I think it's it's motivation for us to actually do shit because we got this other group bleeding us dry.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to get rid of it, or you want to keep it?
We're gonna pay 1 coin, pay off whoever is in our up chain so that they're off our necks. We're gonna pay the appropriate tribute.
Okay. So that has been taken care of. Then you choose a special ability. There is special abilities for your crew, and what you want to do is choose what those are. The special abilities are down below like the heat and the wanted levels.
One thing that I learned from reading this is that if you have questions, generally the easiest one to take, the best one to take for just getting things out of the way is whatever the first one is on the list, because it's generally really good and applies to a lot of things, a lot of situations. Yeah, dangerous will let us add a +1 action rating to hunt, skirmish, or wreck up to a max rating of 3. Now our normal max rating is 2 to start with, so that's letting us roll 3 dice instead of 2 in one of those things,
or possibly giving you extra on a resistance roll by giving you 1 and 1 that you would normally not have something in. Could also be really good.
That sounds good to me.
Fine.
Okay. Someone wants to mark that?
Got it.
Oops.
Okay. Now you get 2. You get each crew type has 2 pre-selected upgrades. Which
Right under the title of Bravos, right? Crew upgrades.
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
each crew has 2 pre-selected upgrades that suit the crew, like prowess training and a gang of thugs for the Bravos crew. They didn't mark one of them, so let's just double check what it is for Bravos. Probably that crew of thugs. Yeah. It's just the prowess. Cohorts, upgrade cost, new cohort, add +2.
Yeah, we start with prowess and thugs, gang type thugs.
Yeah, is there a place for your gang type on here?
I don't see it.
Under cohort, under the title on the right, it says cohort gang, and
yeah.
and then it's a text box where you can change thugs.
Oh, yeah. So, yep, that's where that's at. So you start off.
That's it.
You start off with those. You got a gang of thugs for the Bravos crew. Now you get to choose 2 additional upgrades for your crew.
I think Bravos rigging looks good.
Bravo's rigging actually does look really good.
You can carry more stuff, which is really good.
Now, I mean, what kind of, like, are we knifemen? Are we pimps? Are we just enforcers for another gang? Like, because that would kind of like help figure out what else. Where do we spend these points?
We're our own thing. We're looking to make our own name.
So we're just three. We're just three. What, 3 friends that grew up together? 3 brothers.
Yeah.
3 brothers. 3 brothers.
Sure.
Sounds good to me. I like that idea.
And you've got a bunch of people you know that you've kind of brought into this gang.
So do we
Yeah.
get 2 of those choices?
Yeah, so you get to choose 2 choices.
I say we take hardened, which gives us an additional trauma box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are rovers just spies?
I don't know. What are rovers?
Sailors, carriage drivers, and Deathland scavengers.
Um,
So we kind of have a network kind of to travel
yeah,
or get information.
yeah.
Ooh, that could be our gondolier taxi drivers.
And we are in the grotto underneath. I'm looking real quick. Yeah, all your cohorts with the rovers get +1 die to quality roll for rover related action. I'm not sure what the rovers. It doesn't say specifically what the rovers are.
Yeah, I think basically if you've got them doing like your sailor stuff, if rovers get +1, 120, or 96. Yeah, but if they're doing stuff like sailors, carriage drivers, Deathland scavengers, these aren't the people that go in and like beat the shit out of people, but they are the ones that you can use for information, for getting places, for finding stuff. I mean, the information here would more be like gossip and stuff like that. You got skulks, who are more the infiltrators. You got brooks that are spies.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rovers are good for getting places and getting your hands on things.
So do we want the hardened or do we want the rovers?
Let's take the elite rovers.
Okay.
Okay, so I think you need to add another cohort. Elite. Rovers. And we need to make a note here. Right now, what you do is you've got... since you're 0 tier, quality 0, scale 0, but you've got like quality 1, scale 0. That's what you start off with. And your thugs... Oh, this will be fun too. Quality 0, scale 0, which means you've got 1 to 2 people. Do we want to name your thugs?
Yes, we want to name
Because when you've only got a couple, then you can get the personality of like... So you want like one big ass dude or like 2 of them?
I want one of them to be named Broke Tooth. I mean, that's how we know him, is Broke Tooth. Broke Tooth Tommy.
I like the name Drudge.
Broke Tooth and Drudge.
Okay.
All right.
If someone wants to type that in.
I'm gonna. Okay, where will we put it? That's the question. Where do we
Right
put it?
to the text box.
Oh yeah, I just put that little text box.
Whoops. I didn't mean to put an extra. I don't know how to delete that. I clicked that.
What did you click?
I clicked an extra gang thing, right?
Oh, I'm not showing one that popped up.
Oh,
Yeah, there it goes. Is that garbage or is that a lock? Nope, that locks. Sorry. Man, I guess I don't know if it goes away.
Oh wait, no. If you click the lock, then there's a delete button that shows up.
Oh, okay. Broke Tooth Tommy, and Drudge.
And then for
sounds like morning DJs.
Broken Tommy and Drudge.
for our elite rovers, there's Clinks, and is there 2 of those as well?
Yeah.
And Edward.
He's our legit driver.
He's the more respectable. I figure Clinks is like a message runner and Edward's a delivery guy.
Cool.
Because the message runner's going to have access to information and delivery guy, is access to, oh, no, that package disappeared. So if we need to get stuff.
He has access to not going to jail every time you stop by the coppers.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this will be interesting. So you have got now in doing this, what happens is you get we start off with like your thing with the gangs, essentially like how well you are in with certain people. Mm-hmm. So on one of them, one likes you. You get a +1 status with them. If you want, you can spend 1 coin, take +2 status. One faction was screwed over. You got the upgrade. They don't like you. You get a -2 status, At your option, spend 1 coin to mollify them, take -1 status instead. So the two like level 1 underworld.
I'm not up for sharing shit. I take our
Mm-mm.
+1 and -1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
it's
already
plus
at
1 and
one
-2.
coin.
So
Is it -2?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So if you want to open up the one that says factions,
Where are we seeing factions?
it's right underneath the crew sheet.
Got it.
Oh, over here. Okay.
So we would look at the underworld, right? Would that be us?
Well, it could be the underworld. We could also go with some of the institutions. You want to look at the level 1s at this point,
Okay.
which gives us a couple things with the citizenry, a couple things with institution, and a couple of the underworld, like labor and trade. That's all level 2 or above. The fringe is level 2 or above. So we get to choose which one likes you, which one don't. Like, for example, the Ulf Ironborn, the brutal Skovlander, they're newly arrived in Duskvold, fighting everyone for turf. The Lost is a group of dedicated street toughs and ex-soldiers trying to protect the downtrodden and the hopeless. The Foghounds are a crew of rough smugglers looking for a patron. You've also got the Dagger Isles Consulate.
I like the idea of being on good terms with the new coming outsider who's fighting everybody for turf, and then on the outs with like the Lost, who are the ones who are kind of like us, and fuck them.
So which group was that? The Foghounds?
The
Lost.
Lost are the ones who are trying to help others, and then the Ulf Ironborn are the ones who showed up to fuck shit up.
Ulf
is that
Ironborn is
food?
literally like a guy.
Are you thinking corporate merger too, Mikey?
Well, I'm thinking that we don't like Ulf Ironborn, but we respect him,
Yeah.
and also fuck the Lost.
Thanks to XCOM 2, I'm kind of sick of the Lost.
Do you want to go with that?
Sure.
So -2 with the Lost. Ulf.
+1.
Ulf's got the +1. And I believe we might be. Oh yeah, favorite. You have a favorite contact, and then you have a contact you do not necessarily get away with. So it could either be you get one of the contacts gets a +1 status, one gets a -1, or if you want to be even more concerned with the contacts, you can take a +2 and then a -2. This is back on your crew sheet.
Kind of like maybe being friends with like Conway or Keller, like having a cop or a blacksmith.
I think that it would be fun to either be really in good with Conway or really in bad with Conway. I mean, it gives somebody who gives us a hate on from the beginning.
Or as Peter says, can it be both?
Right.
He's our fourth brother, but he wants to really do his job.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, so we take good with Conway, and then we take bad with you said the blacksmith Keller.
I was thinking like maybe it would be good to be allied with a blacksmith, but I don't care who. Could be bad with the
Physiker. We owe him money.
Yeah, and actually I'm thinking
we never paid.
I'm thinking of playing one anyway because I was actually looking to play outside my norm as well, and since you're doing the cutter, I might be a doctor.
Honestly, we could all three be cutters, and it would be vastly different characters. But
yeah, we could.
Each is cool.
Yeah, I usually tend to, just because there's so many neat things, I usually recommend like you can do all three of the same, but then you're missing out on some of the cool things they can do.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I only want to be the cutter because I want to be the guy with dreams of being the king. Even if I end up not being the king, I want to be the guy who's like, I'm in charge. Even if I'm not.
I'm also kind of thinking like if you're going to be a bit more brutish, like maybe you are the older brother, but like as time goes on, there's that strain of like the younger, wiser brothers are the ones people start listening to, and
it might be, but the thing about the cutter is that he's the lead. Well, the one that I'm playing is I'm taking the one that has the leadership qualities.
Yeah.
So that everybody else gets bonuses from him.
Sweet.
all right, so which ones are we taking?
We're gonna take up with Conway, and down with Thomas the Physiker.
Yeah, because I think I'm actually a physiker. I'm thinking of being one, so maybe we're.
Oh, actually, we just pick one. We don't pick two.
But I thought we were.
No,
friends
you're
with
actually you do pick two.
We do pick two
You pick one that you've got a negative with. One faction.
because it doesn't
Oh,
have
oh,
that on here.
I'm sorry. You're correct. The contact is a close friend. The
He's
GM
our
do
brother.
yeah, two factions that are impacted by your choice. Okay,
He's our half brother.
all right. So we'll go with this. Do you want to have just a +1 or -1 with the factions that are impacted by this, or do you want to have a +1, a +1 -1, or a +2 -2?
What are the factions going to be?
I get to decide on that.
Oh, I thought it was already built in or something.
No, well, it's because of who you chose. I can go. Okay, here are the people that are going to like you. Here are the ones who are not. Do you want to have that as a +1 or +1 or +2?
How interesting do you want this to be, guys?
I think as long as the +2 isn't with the blue coats, I'd be fine with +2, ±2.
The +2 will be with the blue coats because Conway's a blue coat.
Well, unless they hate us for corrupting him, or because we keep putting him in awkward positions because he's our half brother and we keep guilting him into helping us out.
Okay, so Michael, as long as the -2 isn't with the blue coats.
No, the -2 can be, for me
Oh.
anyway. I don't want them to be too nice to us. Like, I want us to have an in with the blue coats, but I don't want us to just like skate by because the blue coats love us.
Oh, fucking I do. They're corrupt as shit.
All right. Oh, in that sense, then yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, what I'm thinking here is with the blue coats, you have a 2 because you got some ins, you met some people there because your brother. However, with the gray cloaks, which are former blue coats who've turned to crime, you have a -2.
Hate it.
It actually kind of works out because if all the other gangs hate the blue coats because they're the official cops, and we're the ones that are always sicking them on people, then by extension, everyone else hates us.
This is making me so happy. All right.
All right, yep, that is crew character creation.
We need a name for our crew and a reputation.
Michael, you said you weren't sure like if we'd want to make this like a regular thing or not. With the way we're setting this up, this may be like an accidental one shot. So.
Yeah. This may somehow we'll all end up traumatized out on the first score. We can't be. See, the beautiful thing is it's going to take at least 4 scores for all 4 of us to, or for all 3 of us to trauma
And
out.
you can technically do 2 scores a game session, not too hard.
Challenge accepted.
How about like I don't know, peg leg pollies or something? I'm just throwing something out there.
Oh, is the name?
Yeah.
I'm moving towards looking at a reputation real quick. There are the reputations that you can pick for your crew are. Damn it! Where did it go?
Okay, here we go. Ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange.
Daring.
I either want brutal or daring.
I like daring.
Yeah, daring sounds good.
Daring it is.
Okay.
It may wind up being brutal.
Oh, looks like my thing might be coming back up towards me. Might get my package.
Like maybe we've got this thing where like, you know, dad, grandpa, and great grandpa all died by age 30, so we're like, fuck it, we're gonna go out young. We may as well leave behind some memories.
Maybe
How
this
about we call
pretty.
ourselves the Under Kings because we're in this grotto? No,
Sure, I like it.
Okay.
Under Kings, or if you got a better one, I'm open, man.
First thing I thought of was like Dapper Dan's.
Or if we had a cool last name, it could be something like based off of that, you know.
Give me a second. Let me look. I have.
We're the gang, and don't tell Ma, but the Smith boys are here.
Yeah.
Well, there's already a group called the Bill Hooks, but I was like, if our last name was Hook.
Yeah. Or like, what are the poles that gondoliers use? Is
Poles.
that a cool name?
Could be the Rudders. Last name Rutters or Rudder.
It could be,
Without
we
the
could
R.
just be We could be the DBs. It was like Tommy's imaginary band from Rescue Me, where he's like, you get really famous, you never tell anyone what it stands for, and then you're just like in an interview, you're like, yeah, we're the douchebags.
Ooh. We could call ourselves, our last name could literally be like Prosperity, and we call ourselves Prosperity. Or, if Morrow is our last name, we could be the Morrow.
On the morrow.
Oh, we could be Bones Marrow, like Bone Marrow or something.
One of us, yeah. And then who's Thugs and who's Harmony? No.
Coldwater. I'm looking for cool last names. Black Church.
I like that.
Lazuto. Our last name is Lazuto. And one of us,
Tommy.
one of us will have to be. Dad was Tommy.
How they all doing? I haven't talked to Steve.
Should it be Broke Tooth Tommy or Black Tooth Tommy? I like Black Tooth Tommy. I don't know.
And the thing is, his teeth are like pristine white. There was just this thing when we were kids where like he ate some taffy and he couldn't get it off his tooth for like a week.
Why do you call broke tooth? Because I break teeth of people who ask me that shit.
That's good. I'm sticking with Broke Tooth. That's great. What do you think about Black Church?
As our last name?
Me.
As our last name and as the name of the gang.
Yep.
Yeah. Like the Black Church Chapel. The Black Church Ministry.
Oh, we're just called the Ministry.
Yes!
Oh, that's great.
Yes! I love it.
And our last names are Black Church.
Nice. So now do we start worrying about our character sheet?
Yep. So I think that finishes up the crew. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is choose a playbook.
I picked Cutter because I wanted to be a specific type. Because I've been planning my character for this for fucking ever.
What was the Hound again?
Here, let me do this for you real quick, because let me get you a... if you want to look at the actual sheets in the book, I'm going to send you a link.
The Hound is a deadly sharpshooter and tracker.
I'll take the Hound.
And I'm going to stick with the Leech. I was
Cutter, Hound, Leech. We're the first three in the book.
Yeah, I was waffling between Hound and Leech, but I kind of like the idea of like being a doctor that got like. I'm thinking I fucked over this other doctor in like school, and I got kicked. Like both of us got kicked out, so I never like formally finished becoming a doctor.
But you're still you know enough.
Yeah. I mean, it was like the last year or something.
Okay.
So that's why I was thinking of having that one. I thought we were picking a contact that was a friend and one that was an enemy.
You end up doing that, I think, you'll do that on you'll have a friend and a rival that you end up choosing on your own. The next thing, though, this can be kind of interesting if you want to take a quick look. If you want to open up the book, that I just sent a link to a 53 and 57.
Okay.
Because you end up choosing a heritage. And one of the things you actually can get like XP for is by playing up your heritage.
Which one are we opening?
The one that says Blades in the Dark, the one that doesn't say player kit.
Okay.
Now, for example, like the heritages, so essentially, like when you're in these larger cities, like, going out is often dangerous for most people. So you've essentially got these little islands of culture in the middle of these wastelands. So Akoros is the largest and most industrialized land in the Imperium, and is home to the capital city as well as Duskvold itself. Diverse conglomerate of cultures that have grown together in close proximity for centuries, somewhat like Europe. If you want to be a rootless wanderer, you can travel from the Dagger Isles. They often grow up on ships and travel a lot before settling down. They're known as corsairs and merchants who live without lightning barriers, dealing with spirits in other ways. If you want to be from a culture considered foreign by the locals, you can be from Eruvia, a rich and powerful desert kingdom far to the south. It's another diverse land of varying cultures similar to Old Persia, Egypt, and India. If you want to be from a place considered, quote, wild by the rest of the empire, you could be from Severos, Outside the few Imperial settlements, most Severossi live in nomadic horse tribes scattered across the blasted Deathlands, surviving within the ruins of ancient arcane fortresses which still repel spirits. If you want to be from a marginalized people, you could be from Skovlan, the island kingdom just under the sea from Duskvold. Skovlan was last to be brought into Imperial rule over the course of the 36-year Unity War. Most of the refugees who lost their homes and jobs in the destruction have come here. If you want to be weird, you can be from Tykeros, semi-mythical place far away beyond the northern Vlad Sea. Everyone says their people there are part demon. If you choose the heritage, you also create a demonic telltale, like black shark eyes, feathers instead of hairs, etc., that mark your character.
So if we're actually brothers, then we should probably all pick the same one. If we just tell people we're brothers, but if we are, I kind of like the idea of being like from Aruvia or Skovlin, because then we're like outsiders that came in and are establishing turf, kind of like our ally.
If we're from Skovland, it makes sense that we're on good terms with Ulf Ironborn because he's also a Skovlander.
There you go.
Okay.
So we like him because he's we're allied with him because we've got that shit in common. But back in the old country, like our families were rivals, so we also don't like him.
Yes,
So
we respect him because he's the enemy we know and respect.
Yeah, like once we deal with all these other fuckers, then we'll fight it out. But right now, we got to get on top first.
You may have problems, but you're still the same. You're still from the same place. So
Right.
it's like you're an asshole, but you're our asshole.
But you're our asshole.
So under background, what are we doing there?
Let me pull up the character sheets again. Take a look. Yeah, so the heritage, you choose the Skovland, and background kind of depends on you. This is what you were before, because it mentions like you could do factory worker from Lockport, now refugees. It could be kind of just what, like if you just want to encapsulate, were you orphans brought here as kids? Were you refugees who, what was your family and such doing before this?
So this is more about family background, not personal background?
It can be both. It can be both.
So like
I'm taking former military for me.
Okay. I was thinking labor for me.
I was thinking academic, but that kind of, I don't know, that's like too much with the doctor. Like maybe I was like military. I was a medic in the military. Yeah.
And then look, is there?
Oh, as far as look goes, you can pretty much decide.
Good.
Yeah, what you want on there. Yeah, background, academic, labor, law, trade. Yeah, you got those. Okay, so the next thing you do is 4 action dots. Now, you have 3 should be already placed. Now, what everyone's going to want to do is type in the name of the playbook where it says playbook for your character.
Yeah, I typed in hound.
Okay. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff had just popped up when you did that. Yeah. You'll notice a couple things, and I'm looking at Paul's right now, so if other people want to take a look at his, to kind of show you. Like Paul, for example, you notice his insight. There's 2 in Tinker. Oh yeah, if you mouse over, it'll tell you what, like Tinker with mechanisms to create, modify, disable, or repair, disable, trap, pick lock, etc. And a 1 in Rec, and Rec is kind of what it sounds like. So you start off with those. So like right now, when he tinkers, he rolls 2 dice. When he uses Rec, he rolls 1. But you notice that line that goes down the middle, or that goes after the first one?
Yes,
so
you noticed.
Insight, Prowess, and Resolve, those are your used to resist stuff. So let's say, like, Prowess has a lot to do with, like, the physical stuff, like the physical strain or injury. Let's say someone, like, stabs you. And you can do a resist. Like, it might be like, okay, you're going to take level 3 punctured lung from this knife. What you can then do is go, I'm going to go ahead and roll my resistance, and in this case it'd be prowess, and however many of those skills you have at least 1 dot in, that's where that line is. However many you have on the left side of that line, that's how many dice you get to roll to see if you manage to bring that down. So if you got several things, and also your crew specialty is going to give each of you, you get to choose Um, right now, hunt, skirmish, or wreck, you can add 1, 2 right now. So everyone go ahead and do that.
And we don't have to pick the same one.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
And let me know when everyone's done that.
All right, I've done it.
I've done it.
Okay.
Okay.
Confused? Oh, up there. Okay, so now at this point, you're going to add 4 more dots. Maximum rating right now is 2, except for those ones we just mentioned. Those can go up to 3. Um, one that would reflect your heritage, one that would reflect your background, and then 2 more anywhere you want.
Are there the ones that reflect the background? Are those like locked to the background, or is it just what our RP?
Just sort of, I've been thinking like this is where I came from. Maybe this is something I had to do there. Like it's not like you get a specific one if you were like you don't all have the same one for being Scovian or Scovland.
But like my military background doesn't have to be skirmish or wreck. It could be
Something
like
else that would make sense. And if
I was a medic or something.
yeah, if you mouse over, you'll see it'll like the each of the things it'll tell you like this is what you can do for it.
And the only ones that can go up to 3 are the ones from our crew.
Yeah, and only one,
yeah,
only one of them.
The only one that can be 3 is whichever hunt, skirmish, or wreck that you picked. That one.
So I could have like, for example, my hunt could be 3,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because it was 2, and I added 1 to that to make it 3.
Yep.
And then I could pick under resolve and prowess as well. Those can be chosen.
You can choose on any of them.
Okay, good.
So-
So I think I've got everything set because I have 3 for hunt, 1 for survey, 1 for tinker, 1 for skirmish, 1 for wreck, and 1 for consort.
Okay.
Then we have to choose a vice or purveyor.
You will, yeah. But we'll
Okay.
get everyone to it.
Okay.
Four. Okay, let's do.
So what are we waiting on?
Me, and I just picked my 4. So
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Now you choose a special ability. There's going to have a list of them. If you're not quite sure what to go with, the first one is a good default choice.
Well, that one makes sense for me. Or scout.
I'm gonna go with the Physiker.
Okay.
Which one are you going with?
Physiker. I'm a street surgeon.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with sharpshooter.
I took leader. When
All
I
right.
command a cohort in combat, they continue to fight when they would otherwise break. They're not taken out when they suffer level 3 harm. And
So
they
you two
gain,
break them, and I fix the ones we need something from.
yeah, and they gain +1 effect and +1 armor.
Cool. What we'll probably have to do is make a note of that, like when you command them, maybe on that crew sheet, just so we don't forget. Then you have a close friend and 1 rival. From the list you got over on the right.
So like where it says like Steiner and assassin.
Yep. So if one of them, basically the up arrow means you're friends, the down arrow means it's a rival.
Okay, is a psychonaut what it sounds like?
Okay.
Let me check.
As as a physiker, you need to familiarize yourself with what is in the bandolier,
The
the
ban-
alkahest, binding oil, drift oil, drown powder, poison, fire oil, etc.
Where's the bandolier?
It's look at your equipment, your load. Um, Look over at the big notes section. It says alchemicals, bandolier, right by the big notes section on leech.
I, I'm currently blind or an idiot.
It's
Uh,
it
Might be
up
different
up
because
top. You could click like the bandoliers. Let's get to that here in a moment, though.
okay.
Let's just take it a step at a time. The psychonaut's a druggie, essentially.
A druggie.
Yeah, perhaps an addict who poison never returned to lucid thought, or perhaps an explorer of psychedelic realm beyond mere mortal experience.
So what do we pick out?
So one to be a friend, and one to be a rival.
Yeah, I've got those done.
Okay.
In blood dealer, what would I be buying blood for?
Um,
They don't ever really say. So you could
Yep.
be someone who buys the blood of the leviathans.
I got you. So just okay. It's a prompt. It's a prompt, not a thing.
okay. So everyone's got that.
Yep.
I'm hmm, okay. Yep.
Okay, so the next thing you've got is a vice. So everyone has a vice. This is the way in which you can take stress down. It is also possible to overindulge in your particular vice. And let me double check on the sheet. Oh, your vice slash purveyor. Um, oh
And
yeah,
you
Paul, you're gonna want to move your
I'm one up on everything, aren't I?
yeah. So the various vices can be faith, gambling, luxury, obligation, pleasure, stupor, or weird.
I chose pleasure.
Okay.
And then do we like make that more specific?
Yeah, you want to like gratification from lovers, food, drink, drugs, art, theater, etc.
Yeah, I chose stupor.
Oblivion and the abuse of drugs, drinking to excess, getting beaten to a pulp in the fighting pits, etc.
I'm picking cigars, if that works.
Mm-hmm.
And slash pipe.
Yeah, scar pipe. And these are things you can overindulge. In that case, in the case of something like that, if overindulge is probably spending too much, getting into it with someone, things along those lines.
Fancy, expensive cigars or pipes.
Or trying some that maybe you shouldn't, that have some bad
Yeah.
after effects.
Maybe it was laced with something.
I think I'm gonna go with obligation.
Okay. Devoted to family, cause, organization, charity, etc.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to say what it is now?
If you have an idea.
I haven't fleshed it out yet, but I'm still thinking like part of the reason that I initially went into like medicine was actually to help the people that needed the help. So even though I am kind of a bastard now, I still do have like a soft spot for. So probably charity would be the closest, maybe.
Okay.
And, maybe if I save like a sick beggar, then that makes up for like the 8 shitheads I killed last week or something.
Yeah.
My stupor is getting the shit beat out of me or beating the shit out of people at the docks. I go to fighting pits.
Okay. Then beyond that, it's just like name and look and such. And I was like, Paul, what he was mentioning, if you take a look on page 71 of the book. Now, one thing, you don't actually like choose items before you go on a score. What you do is you choose what your load's going to be.
Okay, I remember that.
So like you can go like, oh, I'm gonna choose light load, which means you're gonna like
Yeah, and
it's
that's
easy to
like
miss you.
how
Like
suspicious you are
yeah,
versus what's in the bat utility belt.
yeah. Like 6 is armed for bear. Five means you can kind of stick out a little bit. Um, but you choose at the beginning, and then when you need something, you can kind of click on, oh, this is what I'm gonna have. Um,
But we can be light load and still have 5 because we have Bravo's rigging.
yeah.
We get 2 free load.
Basically, you got places will be kept. It's like some of those things with leech items include like the ones that are in the shade stuff. Those are usually the ones that are I think special to your particular one. And like that includes like the alchemical stuff you can use. When you employ an alchemical bomb from a bandolier, you choose one from the one at the right. There's like a list of ones that you can use, and on 226 there's more specific information on those. So
But you
like
have 3, like a bandolier. So if you decided that a bandolier is what you have 3 uses, but you get to pick anything that's on that list.
Okay, well, where are you seeing where you said like when you pick two of? Oh, you're talking about like my. Okay,
yeah,
there.
so the equipment like, for you, page 226
Yeah.
is one of the things that you're going to want to look at for like the alchemical stuff.
Yeah.
Um, because on the page for leech, which what was that 71? Let me try to go back. Yeah, leech items: Alcarest, binding oil, drift oil, drown powder. Like, there's essentially here's a bunch of things you can have in the bandolier. I'm surprised there's not a printout of that.
I have I made two things, but I can't hold on, I can. I'm going to put them over in your pictures in your assets.
So is this bandolier?
Or
Is that,
let me do this, Mikey. Make a handout. Alchemical
take-
stuff.
Mhm.
All
I have
players. All players. You should be able to drop it in that handout.
Where is it?
So alchemical stuff. I will show it to all players.
Oh, there we go. Let me edit it.
I don't. It says nothing to me.
Well,
There's nothing in there.
I
yet.
may need 2 of them. Is the thing.
Oh, that's fine. Or two. All players. All players. Nice.
There's that, and then
What I might do is go back and snip. I don't know if you did you get the list that's actually on the page for the leech. If not, I can snip it out real quick.
well, I was right now reading through 226.
Oh, that's fine. But I meant for Mikey.
sorry. There we go. Edit.
Okay. I don't. Does anybody else have a special thing like that? I don't think you probably have as much as the leech.
So they're listed as bombs, oil.
Where the hell did I save that?
Bombs, oil, drugs, potions. There.
Okay.
Bombs, oil, drugs, potions, and then special formulas and gadgets. Those are the 2 things I have.
Yep. And I just put up the thing with leech items. And let me go through and just double check. Does anyone else have like we've got the leech, we've got the hound.
So I have the book and I have the player's kit. So all of my I've got what I can have.
Yeah.
Up on PDF.
So yeah, what I'm gonna do is because I don't think they don't have the information on what a few of those things are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like the hound items up there as well, real quick. And the snip tool has become my friend with role playing games.
Snip.
Well, I was unaware of until recently.
What is it on PDF?
No, it's literally it's something that all because like in PDF there's a way to do it, but it's a little clumsier. But if you literally just go to the bar in the bottom left and type snip, what you're going to get is a little tool that lets you just basically cut out a small part of the page.
Yeah.
And it makes an image of it, which is
Oh, wow.
so much easier than doing it through Because I can do something similar with Adobe, but it's a pain in the ass.
Very cool.
So that's what I saw on a kind of glanced into a live stream of a GM prep for a bit, and I saw that I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. All right, so yeah, I now put the ones with the hound items and the cutter items also
Gotcha.
up in there. So
Now,
Mhm.
maybe I misread it, but for our items, it said like light loadout,
Yes.
so you can pick 3 things.
well, you
No.
you don't pick them yet.
Oh,
You actually pick the load before you go into the score.
And you don't pick anything else until you decide that you need to use something, and then you decide what you have with you. It's like Batman's utility belt.
oh, okay.
And that includes the stuff that it's not just the stuff that's in the grayed off area. It includes the rest of it as well.
Right. Although you might as well, if you have anything in parentheses, just go ahead and click, or in italics, just go ahead and click it as you've got it with you, because you've got it. It doesn't count as any load.
Okay. So like my trained hunting pet and my spirit bane charm.
Yeah. Now the trained hunting pet, you'll have to decide what kind of pet it is. Although I think it would be helpful for you possibly to have a trained crow,
That's what
Yeah,
I was.
I was thinking some sort of a bird.
just because the Death Seeker crows.
Or a hawk, like the size of a house.
Yeah.
Death Seeker.
A hawk the
It
size.
hunts Leviathan.
That's it. Yes, that's why we're on the docks. That's why we're.
Yeah, and the Leviathan are like whales, but they've got like nasty teeth and stuff.
Yeah, we're changing our grotto is at the docks.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, our grotto SeaWorld. We live in SeaWorld.
That's right.
Hollowed out. Our grotto is a hollowed out corpse of a Leviathan.
His name was Willie. We tried to free him. We failed.
And his pet is really adorable because we'll just wake up one morning and there'll be like a dead Leviathan at the stoop, and we gotta clean it up.
Yeah, so if you want to make a note, your hunting pet,
I did.
you basically put like what their type is, what their area of expertise is. Expert hunter. It is going to have a quality of tier +1, so it'll have a quality of 1.
Nice.
And then you also get to choose 1 or 2 edges and an equal number of flaws. So if you want to take a look on page 96.
Oh yeah, for the hunting pet. That's right.
Fearsome, independent, loyal, tenacious, and the flaws are principled, savage, unreliable, or wild.
So you don't have to pick any edges or flaws, but if you pick an edge, you have to pick a flaw.
Yep.
Right.
And for every edge you pick, you have to pick a flaw.
Okay.
I think you have to take at least 1.
Okay.
Give them 1 or 2 edges and an equal number of flaws.
Okay.
My flaw is that I'm a hard worker and I'm too loyal.
Yeah. It's sort of like the gangs in Apocalypse World, where they don't want them to be too loyal. Or if you do choose loyal, there's another problem that they end up having.
I was doing like the job interview,
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
My problem is that I'm too honest. Why do you
I
think
work
that's a
too
problem?
hard.
I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah. Okay, so for my cohort, you said it was the specialty was hunter, right? That's one of them.
You automatically get hunter for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an expert as a hunter, but then you choose at least 1 edge, 1 or 2 edges, and then 1 or 2 flaws.
I chose one of each. It's a Death Seeker crow named Chum, and he's loyal and savage.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Keep your fingers away from the chum's mouth.
Yes.
Savage, you should see this fucker in a bird bath, man. He's just
He's
splashing
fucking crow
everywhere.
bit me.
Yeah, and basically, that thing is able to just come straight for eyes or other shit.
Could it be a
That fucking
dire
thing
crow?
just neutered Clinks.
Dire crow. I write it. It's-
A dire crow with teeth.
Do we have to have an alias?
So my alias, my name is Phineas Blackchurch, so my alias is Finn. So my alias is basically just a shorthand nickname of my name, but your
Okay, so
alias
that's what
could
I was-
be.
Aliases are good ideas because it also means if they talk about someone, they don't necessarily know your name. It just makes it a little harder to find you.
Okay. So, like for example, my first name is Douglas, and I made my alias Doggy,
Yeah.
hence the Hound.
I'm changing mine. My alias is Primo. Primo Blackchurch. Right. Well,
I just had an inspiration. What if I'm not a brother? What if I'm actually a sister, and my obligation is to like seeing to like the whores and like abuse victims and stuff that everyone else kind of ignores?
Yeah.
cool with me. Don't fuck with our sister. We've just got one rule. Don't fuck with our sister. And also don't trespass on ministry property. 2 rules. We just have 2 rules. And also don't put your fingers near the crow's beak. That's 3 simple rules.
And bring a snack.
There's 4 rules.
4 rules. Bring a snack.
Bring a snack for the crow.
Scratch that. Pack a lunch. You're gonna need it before we get done with these fucking rules. Just a quick 5th rule. More of a guideline.
Cut to half an hour later. There's 37 rules. All right.
Cool. I think I've got everything done. We don't need to deal with harm or healing or anything of that nature yet, right?
That happens when it happens.
Okay.
And it'll be a nice thing because it has been a little. I've read back through this stuff. It has been a little while since I've ran it. The nice thing is Mikey's been running it, so it'll be one to lean on a little bit if I'm forgetting some stuff. Yeah, for the most the problem sometimes with Powered by the Apocalypse games is occasionally you're like, oh no, that's from a different PBTA game that's similar to this. This is not quite PBTA, but it's very, very close.
They start blending together after a while.
A little bit. Just one thing to know is anytime you roll, like one, you can usually just click on the thing and it'll roll your dice for you. But you're rolling multiple dice, and like a 1 through 3 is a miss. Generally, 4 through 6, or like a 4 and 5 is it's a hit, but there are some consequences, and a 6 means you kind of it went through, everything went well.
Nailed it.
So, and what you do is you go through and you look at the highest. If you have a 0 in something, you roll 2 and then take the lowest. What you can do though at any time is you can go, okay, I'm going to, like, you can get if someone's assisting you, they can give you an extra dice. You can also push yourself, which basically you take 2 stress. I believe it's 2 stress. I'll double check.
It is 2 stress.
Yes, 2 stress, and then you get an extra die. You can also take a devil's bargain.
Which means there's going to be a consequence of some sort no matter what happens, whether you succeed or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you get to roll an extra die.
Yeah, like if you do this, you're going to give away your position. But this, or like gives then you can choose to take it or not.
Or so and so will notice you, or you will have to pay a coin, or you'll suffer a level 1 harm, but you get to ask for the devil's bargain, and then decide whether or not you want to take it.
Did you say something about planning and load?
When you go on a every time you go on a score, the first thing you do is go. Well, once you decide, like the score here, one of the things this game doesn't want you to do is spend like 2 sessions trying to figure out something.
Okay.
The whole thing is like leap right to it, and then you go, okay, this is the way we're going to tackle this, and it's like a 1 sentence thing.
Gotcha.
Then what you do is decide your load, like how much you're going to take with you, and then you don't have to actually choose your stuff yet. Then the next thing you do is there's basically an engagement roll to go, how well did the first part of your plan go? So when you show up, what kind of position are you in? Because the way one of the things this does is you're either in controlled, where everything's kind of fine, like you got a handle on everything. You're in a position where things are looking good for you. You are risky, which is the standard one, or things are desperate, which means bad stuff can happen. This is also how you get one way to get experience points is if something is desperate. And those things, like if you get hit with an attack when it's controlled, you're looking at not a whole lot. Like a level 1 controlled kind of thing, will probably do like one little bit of damage. But as it gets higher, like as things get to like uh, the desperate, that's the thing that could possibly come close to killing you if you get hit at that point. Because they're what you're gonna get hit with is a whole lot worse than just what was there with the desperate.
Let's just say you were jumping off a roof. A level 3 harm would be a shattered leg. Level 4 harm would be dead. Level 3 harm would be shattered leg. Level 2 harm might be broken leg. Level 1 harm might be bruised leg or fractured leg, but
Sprained
not
ankle.
Yeah.
broke or sprained ankle. Right.
And if it's under controlled circumstances, you're looking at a risky thing. There, you're looking at like you might get lesser harm, like not that big a deal, or maybe a riskier position. Like you might roll your ankle. If it's in a desperate situation, that's the thing where you could like shatter your leg when you hit the ground, or something.
Okay.
So that will determine very often how much danger there is as far as whatever like will kind of come back to hit you. Okay, are we good at taking just about a couple minutes for a bio break, and then we can get into the actual game proper here for a bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I am so excited.
Back
Oh,
with you.
in there.
We have
Cool.
a cold proof already.
Emo Black Church. Right. Well, I'll be right back.
Uh, for example, when we did Project Dark, I don't know how much showed, but I was unaware of how drunk I was until I stood up.
Been there.
I about an hour after that game, I had to make myself throw up so I could go to bed. It was I was like, fuck,
Wow.
I drank a lot more than I realized. Thank God for no hangovers. All right.
Ready.
So the ministry. Let me pull up a Word document just so I can make a couple. No, actually, wait, I pulled up a thing where I can keep specific info on what you're doing.
So, David, you're Douglas Blackchurch,
Yep.
doggy.
Mm-hmm.
Good dog.
Oh.
Paul, you are
Sophia, given name, and alias would be like either Psy or Cricket. Thinking Cricket would be like a family nickname. Psy would be more like the street nickname.
If you want to do me a favor, if you want to throw that onto your name in Roll20, it'll make it a little bit easier to look down and see.
I'm trying to find the tab. Apparently, I somehow minimized something.
Oh.
What the hell?
There we go. I'm Phineas, or Finn to my family, but to in the gang worlds, I'm Primo.
So tell me about your brother who is part of
Half.
your half. He's always come up. Is he like we're brothers, guy?
It's a sticking point. It's a sticking point.
Or is it that he actually is our full-blooded brother, but because he's a copper, he's, we only count him as half a brother?
I figured that we're Skovlanders, but he's what is the main race? He's half them.
An asshole?
He's half Anna. What is it?
It's whatever's the first one on your character sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Akarosi. So he's half Akarosian, and so we don't let him forget it. I don't let him forget it. We're Skovlanders. He's half Akarosian.
Okay. We have a name for him.
Yeah, wasn't it Connor?
Yeah, it was Conway.
Or Conway? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's right. Blue coat. Make a note here. Half. What was the thing again?
Half Akarosian.
So half Akarosian, and they do not let him forget it. What's all your relationships like with Connor, with Conway?
His nickname is Halfway.
You said half blood or halfway?
Halfway.
Conway, halfway.
That's beautiful.
All right.
I have always liked him. He really reminds me of our father.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time getting over the half. I hold him responsible for Dad leaving Skovland.
Okay. All right.
What's the main race called again?
Akarosian.
Yeah, Akarosian.
All right, because we're not racist. We have a lot of Akarosian friends, but
We have a lot of.
You still got a lot of pride from the home.
Yeah, I'm not racist. I've got an Akarosi friend. Yeah. But
Yeah,
not
look.
Conway.
he's right here under my boot. I have slept with plenty of Akarosi men. I mean, I'm not racist at all.
What?
But what are your for Paul and Dave? What are your relationships with your brother, your half brother?
Uh, I'm kind of thinking that like we get along, but it's awkward because of the rest of the family relationship. So maybe I'm a either he's a bit younger than us, or I'm a bit younger than him. So we were just not really in the house at the same time growing up.
Okay. And Dave?
Um, I think I probably have the best relationship with him.
Okay.
But it's still, I mean, I'm the go-between, kind of. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, what are the age difference between the Black Church family here?
I'm saying I'm the youngest of the three natural,
Mm-hmm.
and Conway is the youngest.
Yeah, I think Conway happened after we
Yeah, he was an
came to
afterthought.
Duskvold.
He's
Okay,
an
so
anniversary baby.
maybe you two spent a bit more time growing up together.
Yeah.
Mikey and I were kind of already on our way out of the house by that point.
I'm kind of the connection between the three of us, four of us.
All
Are
right.
you going to be
So,
my older sister or my little sister, Paul?
I can go either way. I kind of like the idea of the big dumb brute looking after his sister, but I could see some humor in whether it's older or younger either way. So
Oh, Dave, if you want to under your name, if you go to the little gear tab under my settings, if you just want to put your character name.
Oh, down here.
Yep.
maybe since I am a bit of a rough and tumble chick, that like there could be kind of like the ongoing gag that I'm the eldest brother, but
Mhm.
you're still in charge.
Yeah, you're the oldest child, but I'm the older brother.
Okay, so it makes sense that Conway would probably come to
Douglas.
Douglas about this. So Conway has kind of come back from a long shift, looks sort of exhausted. Now, do all of you still live together? Do you have different? Most of you out of the house?
Oh,
And are mom and dad still around? Because I can see him.
That's what I was about to ask, because that might depend. I'm thinking that like one of the two is not around because we have a half brother, and I'm kind of liking the idea that he grew up in the house, so it wasn't an affair. It's either
Mom
mom
died.
and dad remarried.
Mom died which is when we moved to Duskvold,
Mm-hmm.
and Dad relocated us here, and had us situated with neighbors, but was on the Leviathan hunter ships, which is why we moved to Duskvold, so he could join the Leviathan hunter ships. So he was
and the
always
neighbor
gone.
the neighbor that we stayed with, dad, like she was a widower, and dad kind of had an unofficial thing with her when he was in port.
Okay.
And that's
Um,
how we ended up with Conway.
Is dad still alive? Is he retired? Is he still a Leviathan?
Out on
Yeah.
the ships.
We have no fucking idea.
Okay.
He went out on the ships. As far as we know, he's still out on the
That's the last time we heard.
Okay.
Conway's the one who talks to him.
He comes back once every year or two, and half of the time he doesn't bother looking us up.
I think maybe Conway actually still lives at the house. Because I mean, someone's got to be in there when Dad's gone.
Yeah, I'm kind of like feeling that like maybe since Primo was kind of a dick to her son, and I was kind of aloof to him, that yeah, we weren't really around the house all that much.
I check in on him, make sure,
Like
I'm
she
thinking-
loves us, but she does not like us, the two of us anyway, or me.
Because we're close, the three of us still live together in like this rented shack
Mhm.
that has 3 rooms, but it's it's ours.
Yeah.
The people that rent it don't know that we're there, but
It's rented. The rent got paid.
Okay. He kind of comes into the your lair, bit hat in hand. It's been clearly a long day. He looks sort of exhausted. Kind of pops in, goes, "I have an opportunity for you."
Hmm. Yes, and
There's a crew getting a little too big for its britches. Blue Cloaks would like to see him shut down a little bit. Now, there's a stash that they've been building up. Good chunk of change. You go in and take care of this stash, deliver it to us. You get to keep a third.
A third each.
Third total.
How much are we talking in this entire stash?
Yeah, he kind of what it comes down to is it kind of brings it out. There's 12 coin there. You get to keep 4.
Okay. Uh-oh.
We lost Paul.
Wonder if his reboot happened.
Are we there? Am I there?
Yeah.
Well, I was about to call you little brother. However, that is a bit insulting, seeing as I will be doing all the real work and taking all the real risk. I think we're going to have to ask for half.
Can't do half. This is coming directly from Blue Coat sources. I can get you 4. We can't go above that.
Did I miss anything important?
We're negotiating.
He goes, 4 is what I negotiated for you to get. And that took some doing.
That's 4 coin.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this gang?
Foghounds.
Mm.
What do we know about them? Wait, are we all there and he's just talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all there.
Foghounds are up and comers. They are smugglers, and they're looking to find. They're kind of looking to find a patron. So as of right now, don't have a ton of power, but it looks like if they've got as much money as he says, this is a crew that's like right on the edge of having enough that they become a little bit more of a power player.
They're about to break big.
We could do with having enough.
It's going to be up to my siblings to talk me into this because I'm kind of obstinate about it. So I just kind of chuckle to myself under my breath and grab the bottle that I've been sipping from and stalk off to a dark corner and leave them to sort things out because I'm certain they're going to accept the job. This is the kind of thing we do a lot. Mm-hmm. Is like I get insulted and walk off, and then they work it out and they come talk me into doing it.
All right, he's gonna go sit in the corner and cry.
Primo was never the brains of the operation, was he?
All right.
I heard that halfway.
I wasn't saying it so you wouldn't.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be quiet. So, if 4 is the best you can do,
4 is quite a bit.
I'm going to ask one question, and if Primo answers, it's great if he hears this. But how many coin do we have right now? Anyone?
1.
You know that we have 1.
Yes, I do, and you do too. And 4 is a lot more than 1, which is what we currently have.
Brother, perhaps you should have done 1-to-1 to the academy.
This sounds like a fairly easy job. I mean, I don't like these guys just on the face of it, just because they call themselves Foghounds. That's a stupid name. Let's take their coin.
Primo is aggressively pouring into a cup.
How do I pour louder without splashing too much out of the cup?
He gets a bit pouty.
Right.
So we're knocking them off for taking them out.
We're just stealing their money. Taking them down a peg.
Yeah. What is their what's their MO? What do they do?
They're smugglers.
Smugglers.
So yeah, so the biggest thing that they do is a lot of they've been drugs, other illicit stuff. You've heard some tell that they might even deal with ghosts.
But not human
ghosts.
trafficking?
No.
Not a fan. So, we're going to take the job, right?
Yeah. free to take whatever we want. Also, like on the side,
Anything you take that's not the stash, we don't care about.
they've got some supplies I could probably use.
His Primo's head kind of looks up from the darkened corner, from the horribly, painfully difficult to light corner
Hmm?
in the grotto.
It's that one that like in after the pilot when they get more money, there's going to be a great like they're going to be able to set that sucker up. But right
It's
now,
going to be dynamic. Once the pilot's over, he'll glance up and you'll just see the tops of his eyes, and there'll be the sparkling of water and the reflection of a grate. But right now, it's just kind of dim, and the lighting crew hates me.
Yep.
Do I need to refresh? Okay. In the for some reason, my version of the crew sheet has lost the names of our two rovers. Didn't we come up with names for the rovers?
We did Clinks and Edward.
Put those in.
I got it.
Okay, good. Oh, all right. I was backspacing what I did and backspaced you when it clicked over. Edward. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Edward, do you ever do any driving to them?
Oh, I didn't think Edward was here. Is it? I don't think. I think those are people we send for.
Yeah, I think those are usually the ones you kind of go after.
Okay. They don't hang out with us.
No, I mean those the rovers are the ones you've got to kind of go out to get some help for. Like the gang, like you might have, was it Broketooth
And Drudge.
Drudge? Like they might be with you.
So here's the way this breaks down, just as a gameplay thing.
Uh-huh.
Once we decide on a score, we start with a plan.
Right.
And we get one free downtime action to prepare before we launch the plan. So if we want to take that downtime action to survey, which would be like to scope the territory and get information that way, or do other things to gather information, we can do that each individually or together, which we can do as a group action, which could help. But we each only get one downtime action. Now, if two of us are together, that will still be both of their downtime action. You see what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And then we just launch into the plan. What can you tell us, little brother, about these foghounds?
Foghounds, relatively small. They're making their way up, but they've got a friend somewhere. There's a clothing store, a clothier's, Fallon's. Fallon's is just on the other side of the river, outside of Crow's Foot in Charter Hall. Now it's a place that has pretty high class merchandise. They've got a good amount of guards and such. We do know that in the basement of there, that's where they actually keep the stash. We know that it's hidden there. Now, exactly where it's hidden, that we don't know exactly.
Is there a time limit?
It's something that we'd like to have happen relatively soon. They're pulling up that much money because they're making a move soon.
So this isn't one of those games we can go off and do side quests for 3 months and then come back and do.
Nope, not a computer role playing game.
So I walk up with the glass that I poured, which is now half empty, and I hand it over to Conway, and I go, "We'll consider it."
We'll let you know, little brother.
The only reason I told you where it was at was because that meant you're taking the job. If not, and if this goes off without it getting kicked up to us, I got no choice but to come in and take you out. You all get arrested.
I'll lean in and give him a little kiss on the cheek, whisper in his ear, like, "Don't worry, brother. We'll get it done for you. Just give us a minute with Primus here."
Oh, Conway knows that I only refer to him as little brother when I like him for something. It's a very blatant. I'm not super subtle usually.
Yeah.
I can be subtle if I have to be, but with my family, I'm not very subtle.
I'll say, Mikey, what you said
I'll say,
earlier.
like, don't worry, brother, we'll get it done for you. Just
Mikey,
give us time with Primo's pride over here.
I think what Mikey said earlier, the downtime is actually after scores.
No,
Okay.
the free downtime is like the one activity prepare for a score, isn't it?
I thought it
Yeah,
was
there's-
called. I thought it was called something different, and there was a different list of actions for preparation.
It's technically a free prep activity, but I think they refer to it in the game as downtime.
Because there is downtime. That downtime usually
What do you mean,
comes.
load?
Yeah, because if you look at the downtime list, it's all about like work on a project, procure an asset. I thought there was a special name for the preparation.
We can call it prep activity. I read somewhere downtime. I've been drinking. Forgive me. We'll call it halfway downtime.
Yeah, because I generally like this. The score, the score, you just kind of pop into it.
It's
And
half downtime. It's half Akarosi downtime.
Now you can. That's usually more what flashbacks are for.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it looks like we need to check out this Fallon's and Charter Hall.
Or is it the engagement role I'm thinking of?
No. We're allowed to do some prep stuff before we take an engagement roll. Really, really, really. Aren't
So
we?
what do we need to prep?
yeah, there's a little bit. There's a little bit with planning. A lot of that, those just. The thing is, it's a really short sort of thing.
It is.
And there's also what it's mostly wanted to use is flashbacks.
Yeah, because I'm looking
So
on
flashbacks being the stuff that you have done before. Because it's wanting to get you into it as opposed to spending forever scheming, planning, doing all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like I'm looking at 127, and it looks like while we're making the plan, we can gather information if there's
Yes.
something we need, but it's not like a dedicated, like miscellaneous action or something.
All right. So it looks like we're going to have to pick a plan of attack. The plan options are assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Transport is not the kind we're doing. Social might be. It's negotiate, bargain, or persuade, but it's probably not. It's not occult. It might be stealth if we're going to break in unseen to get it. It might be deception if we're going to trick our way in there to get it. Or it might be assault if we want to go in there in the middle of the day and kill everybody and take it.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we want to do this, like because deception, they're gonna figure out eventually who it was anyway, just as time goes on. But that could make us a bit more cool in the long run.
It's pretty daring.
If it's like a rumor for a month before it's ever confirmed, then that like kind of builds up our reputation as time goes on. But if we just, as you said, just walk in and fucking kill everyone and take it, then that gives us a whole different kind of reputation.
That's
pretty daring too.
that's
Yeah.
brutally daring.
Yeah.
I like assault or the deception, either one.
Let's find out what we can about this place.
How
I'm-
big?
And that's it.
How
If
far
people
away
want to do a little bit of gather information, they can.
Yeah, I think that we should take the time to survey it. We should do gather information study probably from our rovers. And
Hunting.
Uh,
What
hunting
about,
is following somebody or tracking somebody or something down.
Gather information about its location and movements.
where it is.
Precision.
So- their turf, what's the like? Are they like 2 blocks away, or are they like in another district? Because
Their big turf is kind of right by the essentially right by the river between the two of them. Let me just put a little.
because if they're our next door neighbors, we probably don't want to like start a war with them.
They're not necessarily real close, but they are essentially. I'm going to put a little red polygon.
Oh, could you put a polygon about where we are too?
Where do you want to be if someone wants to ping in this area? About where are you?
I would say we're almost to the docks because we're in a grotto. So let's put our grotto
Like somewhere around in here?
like at this bridge on the way to the docks.
Yeah.
Under the bridge. Sometimes I feel.
Yeah,
like
I went there too, man.
So over.
And since we're stealing drugs, it fits.
So kind of in this area.
Right there, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, I think hunt could be useful. Dave, if you mouse over each of the individual skills and just let your mouse sit there,
Yeah,
it shows you the thing. But I think, yeah, you could use hunt to,
gather
you know,
information about.
to basically uh, movements in and out,
Yep.
deliveries, guard shift changes, etc. Might be that's a call for Michael
Mm-hmm.
to make as to how effective that would be.
Right, and I also have consort, which I have a connection from the heritage, which I was thinking Ulf might be useful here to get some information about the fog hounds.
All right, I'm going to talk with. I think I'm going to talk with Edward because I'll bet he's made deliveries here because he's a higher class of our rovers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk with him about finding out information about them. Douglas, do you want to hunt to try and
Sure.
track movements and guard changes and comings and goings and delivery schedules and stuff like that?
Yes, I will do that.
And what about you, Sophia?
Thinking there's a whorehouse like a couple doors down from where this place is. I might just go do some rounds, do some treatments, make sure everyone's all right, and see what kind of information they can give me as pink.
So if you want to look at the gather information questions at the bottom. All right, I'm looking at the actual character sheets. They should be probably on yours.
Yeah. How can I hurt them? If you go all the way to the bottom, it says, how can I hurt them? Who's most afraid of me? Who's most dangerous here? What do they intend to do?
Where
how
are
can I
they
get
vulnerable?
them to? Or are yours different than mine?
Yeah, mine. One of mine is where are they vulnerable, and that's what I want to focus on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They are. Oh, cool. They are different. That's neat. Nice.
How can I get to them? How can I get them to X, whatever?
Okay.
I think where are they vulnerable for me is probably the best.
All right. So I think for you that you let me know how you're gonna look in for that information.
Okay, I'm going to do some walk-bys around their area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to use some of the local merchants to as being a customer, watch the comings and goings, look at times of deliveries and when guards are there, if they have them and where they're located.
Okay.
So are we talking about spending a few hours, or talking about spending a day, or talking about spending
Most
a day
of the
or
day.
two? Most of the day.
Well, so you know you want at least 24 hours to kind of keep an eye. So what you want to do is go ahead and click. Click on your hunt.
That's hunt,
Yep.
right? And then
So there's probably no need for a devil's bargain. I don't know if you want to push yourself at this point or anything because you got
Not
3
yet.
dice, which is really good.
Now, the choices of positions it gives me risky, controlled, desperate, or fortune roll.
This seems risky.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Because there's a chance that you might get found out. That's the sort of the default. You're not in desperate territory.
The effect choices standard, limited, grade, extreme, or zero.
Standard.
Wait, where are you seeing this?
Oh, so when you click on them, so we'll show you the way it works right now. I'm just going to click on a different one of yours. So the position kind of lets you know, like, risky is a standard. It kind of lets you know that, like, here's how much risk there is in what we're doing. So that'll pop up. Then the effect. Standard, of course, is your normal, like, you get the information. Like, for example, if you're fighting a tier 3, like you're going against a tier 3, you're going to have, like, probably a 0 or a very possible limited effect, depending on what you're doing. Just because they are much higher than you, they're much bigger, they're kind of whatever. So, like, it's essentially like if you have, like, a good success with, like, a limited effect means you can't do a whole lot, but you do what you can. If you have a great effect, that's where you can make, like, a bunch of changes on something. So, a lot of the times it'll just be standard, and bonus dice are usually if you've got, like, a specific thing sort of helping, or if you've got a, like, if someone else is giving aid, something else does give a bonus dice, or you can do a deal with the devil.
I was going to use Ulf for a little bit of information.
Okay.
So can I do that? Is that a bonus dice of 1?
Yeah, let me just double check that real quick.
So, as an FYI, if you have your character sheet popped out of the window, then clicking on the skills doesn't actually do anything. You
Well,
actually have to open in Roll20.
Try doing it. Do you have it over Roll20? Try doing it and then moving your sheet.
I just opened it in Roll20, and I think I can get the pop up.
I'm gonna check something real quick.
Mine works outside of Roll20.
No,
just so
Paul. I think what happens is your pop up directly over the Roll20.
My pop up is in a separate window.
No, but is it above your Roll20 character sheet, or is it above the Roll20?
I moved it to a second monitor, and literally nothing happens when I click it. It doesn't open a pop up anywhere else. So
that's weird.
I opened it in Roll20, and it works.
I just did an attune roll from outside of Roll20, popped out, and it worked.
What browser are you
There's
using?
no way I needed to attune anything.
Yeah.
My hunt was 4, 4, 5, and 2, or 4, 4, 2, and 5.
Okay.
So take the highest die out of that, which is 5, which is a partial success. A 6 is a success. A 5 is a partial success. There's a success, but something else.
Okay. I'm just checking something here. Yeah, so in this one, I'll say it doesn't become a bonus die, but you can basically send a cohort like the expert off to do an additional action.
Okay.
So that's where if you've got it doing something, you roll its quality, and then that becomes the thing on that. So, but you got a 5 on that one?
Yep.
Okay. So since it's just sort of gathering information, we'll kind of give you basically the intended stuff. The Foghounds do have like you've got like a variety of like higher tier people kind of coming in and out of this fairly large store that has very obvious guards on the outside, and there's also some that you can kind of tell through the windows and such that are less obvious that are on the interior because they want people who come there to feel safe. But
Sure.
They are across the street from Crow's Foot, which has a lot more sort of open crime and other activities going. For the best you can tell, as you kind of go overnight, there is a back entrance that it seems like when the Foghounds do show up, there's groups that sort of stay under there. There's a slightly larger group that goes in on the night, but as you sort of keep watch over the evening, the problem with the group that goes in there that's there all night is they don't want to have a lot of people going in and out after closing time. Like for the next hour or two, you got people still shutting things down, taking care of stuff or whatever. You'll see a few kind of come and go, but then you essentially have a group that is kept in there overnight, which means eventually, you've been on stuff like that before, people get bored. If you attack in the early hours, you have a group of people that have been there not expecting anybody to show up or come, probably a few of them at least falling asleep. The later it is, the better chance you've got because it's in the morning where they get relieved.
Right. And now we'll relay all that information.
Okay. Mikey, what were you looking into?
I'm going to ask our elite rovers, specifically Edward, who's probably made a delivery there because he's a delivery guy. Looking at my gather information stuff. Well, what I wanted to know was where the stuff was, but that's not it. That's not what my gather information does. So, what do they intend to? No, because he's the delivery guy. He won't know what they intend to do, right? Who's most dangerous here? That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I'm talking to Edward, and I'm probably going to have to consort because that's get information from a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
And he is a cohort, right?
Yeah, and he's one that kind of helps you. Make a roll here to see kind of how much information he's got.
So risky and standard effect. Oh, they have a +1 effect because they're elite, right? So that would be great effect.
Yep.
And no bonus dice. So I rolled a 6. Holy shit! 1 die, straight 6.
Okay. He tells you he's like, Yeah, the overnight crew. I've seen them go in when we've delivered stuff or taken some deliveries from it at the end. Look, they got a dude with them, Razorback, fucking huge. Looks really dangerous. Not that hard to take down. He's not as tough as he looks. The problem, there's one of the guys, Jared. Dude's quick, deadly as hell. You got anyone to worry about there? Jared's also a little fidgety. So as people kind of come in, he's always got an eye on things, like a little paranoid. Jared's the one I would look out for, particularly if you're trying to sneak into a place like that, because he's the one who's going to be keeping an eye out more, and he's also. I would rather go up against Jared than Razorback.
Wonderful, son. Wonderful. Look, let me buy you another round, eh?
Always up for another round.
Is there, because I got a straight success, is there maybe information that I could later say that he gave me about Razorback?
If you
Or
need
not Razorback, but
for a
Jared?
for a flashback, if you need to do some specifics, if something comes up, that would make
Like-
some sense.
The kind of girls he likes, or favorite drink, or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be
Just a
possible.
thought.
I keep that in mind for a flashback if you need
Okay.
it.
I'm thinking that maybe we might have our little sister arrange for Jared to not feel well.
It's possible, but our little sister was doing her own gather information role.
Yep.
That's right. Sorry, forgot.
That could
My
be a-
little sister, your big sister.
Yeah, you know.
That could be a flashback, maybe.
Sorry,
So-
but she's both of our big sister.
Mhm.
Our little sister must be an inside joke. Our
But
little
yeah,
cricket.
I'm thinking you still call me little sister.
Sure.
When you're happy with me. When you're not, I'm your big sister.
Look, eldest.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting some of the clocks, and if you also want to make some notes and such on the, like, around the scroll and such, I'll put, like, clocks and such there to see them. So if you also want to put notes of things you're planning, that's not a bad place to put them.
The
Okay.
scroll.
Over on the right side of the Roll20 desktop.
Yeah, I don't see a scroll.
All the way to the right.
Oh, that's right, as in not left.
Well, on the scroll, I see the scroll now.
Mhm.
I didn't have it open that far. I was trying to be open far enough just to see the map
Yeah.
mostly.
That's where I'll put like clocks right around there too as those pop in.
Okay.
I still don't see a scroll.
If you zoom out,
I'm all the way out.
You
There's
have
a
to see it. It's
scroll
on the right.
on the-
There's
Uh,
a dagger at the bottom. There's some gold coins.
like a literal scroll.
Yeah, I gotcha. So there, if I just create something in the journal and drag it out there, you mean?
No, if you literally can just go to text. Like if you click the little I and then put something, you can actually type stuff onto the.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. In
So-
the I can reveal areas and
No, the I is in the letter I on.
oh. Yeah, okay. No, I hit I and nothing happens.
No. Okay, see where it's got like the arrow and then the box and then the.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one down is the little letter I.
Not for me. The third one down is a paintbrush.
How is the third one down for you, paintbrush?
In the paintbrush there is a sub menu.
Oh,
where
yeah. There you can hit text on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whichever one
I is the default that shows up there. I think.
Whatever you pick last. Okay. All right.
Maybe it's draw shape. Oh, actually, for you it might not be the third because I've got token layer. I can change layers on the.
Can we make that font a little bigger?
Yeah, all you got to do is
I'm trying.
no
Trust me.
up top. Like when you click on the eye, it'll say like Arial or whatever, one of those, and then the font will be right next to it. Like if I go.
Yeah. But I don't see how to like edit something that's already.
That you got to go to select mode.
Uh,
It's one of the things that you can hit select and then you can go back and do it. Like I can go here, there.
okay. All right.
Thank you, because I'm having an issue doing it.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
where
that, if you go back to select, if you like double click on it, you can then retype stuff in.
I had been, but it just wouldn't do anything with it.
Okay, so what information are you looking for, Paul?
I am, yeah. So I'm in the whorehouse. I'm just trying to get a feel for like what's been going on at their little warehouse or fortress. Um, do they have like a whatever it is we're stealing? Do they have like a
Okay.
someone coming to pick it up in a day or two?
Sounds like a consort roll. I go ahead and make a roll.
Um, okay. So I was kind of like earlier, like I picked Sway, but I was kind of like between Sway and Consort of which one feels more like the character.
Or would it be? I think Sway is convincing someone. Consort is kind of talking and partying.
Which okay, I'm gonna switch mine to Consort then because
Heritage background, friends or rivals to gain access to. Yeah, basically, Consort is leaning more on friends. Actually, Sway is better for strangers. Actually, Sway in your case is probably the one that actually fits here because
okay.
yeah, Consort has more to heritage background, friends or rivals. Consort's with your friends. Sway is with people you don't know.
Okay, and it's still risky.
Yep.
And
Standard
limited,
effect.
standard, and no bonus dice.
3. That is
Failure.
Okay.
Too busy with all this syphilis to pay attention to what they're saying.
Yeah. So you're as you're asking around,
or
and
maybe
trying
you
to
just don't find anybody who knows anything.
yeah, as you're asking around trying to find out. You see a couple of them get sort of talked to about maybe not saying so much as you kind of drop the name a time or two, and you see one of the people who is one of the madams there. She kind of gives you a glare, talks to some of the girls, and suddenly, not as many people are talking to you. So they may have a little bit of an awareness.
Okay.
Like there's an opportunity that something might be said to somebody. All right.
Brothers, I might have picked the wrong whorehouse here. They might be in with the foghorns.
But what have we learned? We've learned that they go on lockdown at night, that it's probably best to go early in the morning, that there's one guy who looks really tough and he's Razorback, but he's not that hard to deal with. And then Jared is the one to watch. He's quick and deadly and fidgety and paranoid. Do we know which one Jared is?
Probably when you're given a description. So if you see them, you'll
The head
know.
one with young whores.
He was described as the syphilitic one.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah.
A syphilitic one that's not Douglas.
Eh,
Get on the train car and look for the man with the red hat. Damn it.
oh, funny.
All right, so I think that our plan is probably going to be an assault, right?
Yeah.
At night, or we're not going to do stealth. We're going to have to take him at night, right?
Yeah.
So assault to do violence to a target. The detail we need is the point of the attack, which is probably going to be where we have to enter, right, Doug?
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to have to hit, and we're going to focus on Jared first and then Razorback.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And maybe we have Sai do a distraction maneuver. Maybe she goes up and pretends to be, I don't know, a drunk woman, and then I will go up and pretend to be her jealous boyfriend, and while they're distracted, you can shoot the fuck out of Jared's head. Maybe.
Whenever we do these jobs, the ministry has like a little uniform where it's like some religious clothing from like our homeland, which includes like a hood and a mask, so you can't really tell who's who. But there's different patterns on the robes, so like we know who is who. Like
Sure.
outsiders just see like masked weird people.
Sounds fun to me.
I like it.
So then are we going to bother just trying to distract him, or are we just going to wait in the shadows and have him shoot and then use that as an opportunity to jump?
I like that.
All right. So I don't want you to be too far up because it's going to be hard for you to get down, although
Right.
It'd be easier for you to shoot from a distance, from a height. I'm going to say we're going to try and find a place in the alley, in the shadows of an alley, where we can get closer to the end of an alley where Cy and I can get closer to the end, and no, where we can all get, and then Primo and Cy can wait while Doggy shoots, and then after the shot, we'll rush in and try and finish the two off to get in.
Okay, so you're making an assault by using the getting them to the back alley doorway.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna climb up. We got to do our loadout now, right?
No.
Yeah. So you don't have to do. You just have to choose how much your load's going to be.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
My load's going to be normal, which
Mine too.
but that'll be normal +2, so it'll be 5 + 2. So because we have the Bravos rigging, so you can literally use 7 worth of load.
Oh, nice.
And what's the benefit of having lighter load again? I know it has to do with like how much like attention you draw.
How conspicuous you are. Now we're in the middle of the night, and a normal load in a dangerous territory, I figure, is good enough for us.
Yeah. But
it's good enough for me.
But if I'm actually doing more of a civilian distraction, maybe mine should be light.
I think that that Doggy wanted to just do the straight attack.
Okay.
Without a distraction.
All right.
Yep.
So I think it's probably best for each of us to at least do normal load.
Okay.
Okay. So when do we choose what we're taking, like what our load is?
When you decide to use something, you click on it and it adds to your load. You can have up to 7 boxes clicked.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the thing is, for right now, you don't have to choose anything until you have to use it. So right now, all you choose is how much load are you taking.
Okay.
And then you can actually click the stuff you need when you use them.
You can literally pick what's most advantageous to you at the moment in the moment.
Okay. Easy.
Okay. So
right.
Engagement roll. It is so the way engagement goes, you get 1 die for sheer luck, and then either if it's particularly bold or daring, get a +1. If it's overly complex or contingent on many factors, take a -1. This is fairly bold. You're just doing like, we're gonna blast the shit out of whoever shows up at the door, and then we're gonna go into it. Then I go, does it expose the vulnerability of the target or hit where they're weakest? Is a +1 die, or if it's strongest against its approach, -1. Unless there's a huge emergency, people don't show up on the thing. So I think you're actually hitting in a place that's not a particularly easy place for them to go. So that'll be back to 1 die total. Any friends or contacts provide aids or insight during the operation, or any enemies or rivals interfering. There's none there. Other real elements. Technically, their tier is above you. The Foghounds, let me double check. I believe are tier 1, which would technically take you to 0, which means roll 2 and take the lowest.
Didn't we figure out what's the best time to hit them because they'd be tired and stuff?
It's a good time to hit them. The problem there is coming up to the back door for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them may be tired, but it's not a particularly strong place to strike. Actually, I'm not gonna take away 1 for that. I'll just keep it 0. You don't get the addition.
It's the least bad time. It's not a good time.
Okay. And they are level 1, so they are 1 above you there. So it'll actually bring it down again to 1 die. So, for the engagement, I'm trying to see. Is there a
button?
Roll, like where do you click on to roll?
Is that in the crew sheet, maybe?
I can just consider it a fortune die, I believe.
No, it's on the crew sheet. It's engagement roll.
Oh.
There is an engagement roll on the crew sheet.
Yeah, so if someone wants to go to crew sheet,
well, at least there was.
hit engagement.
Oh, there's
engagement.
Roll engagement. Okay.
Engagement will be 1 die.
Who wants to roll it?
Paul, roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right. And he said it was just 1. All right. I take no responsibility for this failure.
It is a desperate situation. I'm not letting you roll this shit again.
No, we
Cricket.
We found out in the other game that I'll roll on the second session.
Well, we found out on the other game that I couldn't roll at all, but I rolled a 6 on this. All right.
Well, I just rolled a physical die and I got a 6. Is that
Look,
better?
a desperate situation just means that that we're more likely to get experience from this, right?
Yes.
We're gonna have fun.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's like Dwarf Fortress.
This thing's just fun. Wait, is there like a Titan showing up? Is that what you're saying with the Dwarf Fortress reference?
Yes, where Titan shows up. So I would say as you get to the back door, Who says what as you knock on the door, and then you hear from behind it this. Yeah.
Duck bitches and throw a grenade in through the slot.
You got a grenade?
I can have whatever I want, pretty much.
You have a grenade?
I'll say the thing itself, because part of the death situation, the thing itself doesn't open up. You just hear from behind, because there's not like a slot on there. He goes, yeah, what?
Delivery for Jared.
I go. Then you hear him go, Jared, I think they're here.
He's right. We are here.
And this is the point you sort of realize, oops, wrong thing.
Wait. I hope we're not the ones he's actually expecting.
Well, because of the failure you got earlier, they let them know that someone was asking around.
Yeah.
Place.
But that was yesterday.
Um,
They've forgotten about that by now, surely.
entrance to.
Oh, what is this thing?
So,
Oh.
what they use here are clocks.
Oh,
So your
not
big
a
thing
man.
is you hear something from behind. Your big thing right now is getting entrance into the basement is one of the first ones. So getting down there, which can happen a number of ways. So at this point, you know that something is happening back behind that door. As of right now, you don't know what it is. So, what are you doing?
I have my
We got to get through the door, right?
and my.
Well, it can be through the door, but it can also be other ways as well. So, the entrance to the basement does not have to be this door. It could be something else too.
Yeah, I am. I'm planting my demolition tools.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use demolition tools. I'm going to blow this frickin' door.
All right,
And I'm going to have a little
Mikey, make your tinker.
poison grenade to throw in as soon as it blows.
I'm going to say that we need to do a group roll on the tinker, and I will take the stress, but I'll take the stress for the group roll, but that I want my sister to help me because she's always been better with this stuff, and I'm betting she's got a higher tinker than I do, which is I think
I got two.
yeah, I have 0 dice. I have 0 dice in tinker, so I'm going to push myself here
Okay.
so I can have 1 die in tinker.
Take 2 stress.
And then I'll need her to make a tinker roll, and I'll make a tinker roll, and I will take the stress for any failed rolls.
Okay, give you a possible devil's bargain.
Okay.
We accept.
If you for a +1 die, what's going to happen is the explosive here is going to shatter some windows up front, which will then alert it may take them a little bit to actually show up, but will alert the local like the guards that they use, like the little mercenary faction they have as guards.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So I get to add 2 dice then. I get to use 2 dice then.
Mm-hmm.
With risky and standard.
Yep.
So
All right,
do we
and-
just temporarily?
Or no,
up this-
desperate. You're in a desperate situation.
Oh, sorry. Let me cancel that.
So for the +1 die, do we just temporarily up it and then make the roll? Or...
No, it goes on your bonus die.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So we're-
desperate, standard. I get 2 bonus dice. He'll get 1, or she'll get 1 bonus die.
By the way, do
Okay.
you see where it says entrance to the basement under the clock
Yeah.
I put?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that does show up, so I don't have to do like the control bind to see it. Okay, cool.
All right. So I got a 5 is my highest. She got a 6.
All right.
So I don't take any additional stress, and the door blows, but the windows also blow.
Yeah. However, I think because you're using aid.
No, it was a group roll. I took stress for the roll.
Yeah. Then I think you also have. Let me double check because I think if whoever rolls less than for every die that's less than a 1.
I thought it was for every result that was less than 1. Her result
Possibly.
was 6.
Let me check real quick.
But if not, if I need to take stress, let me know.
Yeah. Let me. Teamwork. 134. Okay. Yeah. Leading a group action. As their best result. Yep. So you're good.
Cool.
Yep. So 1 through 3 for the best result. So you got a 6. So what you're going to do is go ahead, mark mark XP for making the roll. I think Paul, you also mark XP because it's a desperate roll.
And that's on the stat itself.
I'm trying to remember.
It's on playbook advancement.
Yeah, I think it's on the stat
Yes.
that you just rolled.
Mark XP in that action's attribute. So I got an insight and you got an insight.
As it explodes, you also hear sort of happening further like down the way. That itself, if you'd had a 5 there, that would have exploded. It also would have added some to the guards alerted. So
I shoot a grateful look over at her because I know it was what she did that made it work well. Dear little sister.
So that door explodes inwards, and you also see as you're able to kind of step in underneath. There are a few people. Like there's the hallway that leads into like the storeroom in the back, and then these steps going down towards the basement, and you've got 2 people who've got knives out down in front of the door there, and these are your. Like I said, there's still 2 ticks you have to do to get into the basement itself.
Okay.
Bring like Broken Tooth and Drudge with us, or is it just 3 of us?
It would be. Would you count it as a 0 stress flashback for me to say to the people who are always with us, "You're coming with us"?
Yeah, not even a flashback. We'll just say you've got them with you.
Yeah, absolutely, they're with us, and if I lead them into battle, they're more effective.
Of course, as we all are, brother.
Would this make it Douglas's turn to try something?
Yeah, do you do something when this happens?
Oh yeah. Once the doors is gone, and the first opportunity I have to see Jared.
Jared, you're not seeing Jared right as it opens up. You do see there are 2 of them that are down there. When it hit, they've got knives in their hands, so it's like a fairly narrow staircase, so something bigger would get in the way.
I'm just gonna put a shot into the forehead of the one on the left.
Okay.
And so I need to roll using my fine long rifle.
Now, he is no longer necessarily in a desperate position because the desperate position has already been used, right?
No, right now the desperate position stays until you have an opportunity to kind of get out of this immediate situation.
Okay.
Like it's like one thing. Like, once you're sort of like down the steps and such, there, I believe it would make sense for it to kind of
hit risky.
Yeah, kind of go back down.
Okay.
Guards alerted at 6 o'clock.
So how do I make the roll?
Okay.
So if you're going to shoot him, you say what skill you're going to use. It wouldn't be skirmish because that's hand to hand. This would probably be a hunt roll,
Right.
wouldn't it?
Yep.
You think, Mike?
Attack with precision shooting from a distance.
Yep.
Okay, and this is not risky, or is it still risky?
It's still desperate.
But if you're going to have a gun, you need to mark the weapon that you have on your load.
I did.
Okay.
And as you said, what's our effect?
Effect here would be they're a thing above you, so technically the effect on them personally should be limited.
Okay. And then I know I have a +1 on because on our crew, since we have dangerous, I can add a +1 action rating to hunt, skirmish, or wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt, and I already have 3 on hunt.
Are they above us?
The Foghounds are level 1 or tier 1.
Oh, okay.
You start off tier
We're
0.
talking about tier. Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
I was talking about. I
Oh,
thought
you're
you were
from
saying
elevation.
they were above us.
No, they're on the steps to towards the basement.
I was like, we picked the wrong door. Damn it.
It's at least the right building, right, guys?
All right.
Well, this is Fenians. Holy shit! This is the whole wrong building.
Shit, this is our hideout.
Dang it.
Your shooting broke too, Tommy.
Where did I changed the layer, and if I click on hunt again, is it going to give, oh yeah, hold on. It's desperate. Um, it's limited, and I have at least a +1. Do I get any effect from what my sister did?
No.
No.
Okay.
It'd be 0 extra dice.
Where'd you say the +1 was from?
From on our crew sheet, we have dangerous.
No, no,
No.
that just means you have a higher it's higher. You choose one of them to be higher permanently.
You
That's
already
the one
did
that you did at the beginning.
So ignoring that last die, his
His total's a
highest
5.
was a 5, which is a success.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get the
The guy on the left.
yeah. Let me just. This is one. Once you're used to it, the stuff goes real quick. It just takes a little bit of getting used to Blades in the Dark again because it's been a little while. I wish I had an easier way to place this so it's easy to see. That'll work. All right. As you fire, it hits the one. The other one can kind of duck back, takes the knife, and just throws it. And it ends up hitting you with it. So what you're going to end up taking on this, since it's desperate, we'll use this from before. This would be like a level 3 punctured lung with where it hit. What you can do is a resistance roll to go, I don't want to get that
Who are we talking to?
today.
You.
Me, I'm like way back.
You can't be way back because they have to be, because like the steps down,
Oh,
you'd be in
okay.
a position you wouldn't necessarily be able to see, so you've got to be relatively close.
All right. So then that would change my loadout too.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't pick your loadout yet.
Well, he would have just taken the pistols as opposed to the rifle.
Right. As opposed
Yeah.
to
Because because it's the steps into the basement. You being far away is good if someone literally pops out, but since they didn't pop
Right.
out of it, you've
Okay.
got to be in a place you can actually hit them.
Gotcha.
But you should resist.
Yeah,
with your prowess.
yeah, you can make a resist with your prowess, which means you literally just click the prowess to resist.
Okay. Bonus dice, any?
No bonus dice on this. I don't. Do you have armor?
I don't have anything that I'm aware of.
No, you
He
can
got a
click.
6, though.
The thing is, you can click armor. Okay, cool. So, yeah, suffers 6 stress minus the highest die result. You got a 6. When you roll a critical on resistance, you get to clear 1 stress. You don't have any stress right now. Oh, do me a favor. Do
Yeah.
not mark the trauma. You've got trauma clicked. One of them.
Oh, yeah, I clicked reckless.
Oh, wait, does reckless give you?
I did that like a while ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I would unclick those. You have no trauma,
Okay.
and then you want to click off of reckless.
Okay.
You also, when you had the armor uses, so what would happen here is it would reduce it. So you don't take any extra stress. It would reduce it by 1.
So that's 2.
Yeah. So the thing is, so what it can do is you take less of it to a level 2, which would be like large gash in the chest. If you
Okay.
want to use the armor, it could take it down by 1 to essentially bruised.
To what?
So you got to think where it says armor use, and you would
Yeah.
like you had clicked it. So
I
yeah,
did.
so the armor usage. What you can do there is, do you want to have heavy armor or just the regular armor?
Regular armor.
Okay, so if you want to spend, and let me just double check this again, 32, 33, 38. You're able to then use the thing itself with the armor. Armor to reduce or avoid consequences. So here you're going from a level 3 hit to a level 2 hit. If you mark the one, so you've used up your armor, and that will make it so just like a level 1 bruised.
Okay.
As it kind of hits, like it hits hard enough that your shoulder and such is a bit sore
Yeah.
from how it hits. So if you want to go down where it says the less effect under harm, under level 1, just write bruised with like bruised shoulder into one of those.
Can you only use one armor at a time?
If you chose heavy armor, oh, I'm sorry, you have to have it. You would click 2 of them for armor, and you'd have to click a total of 5 if you want the heavy armor.
If I want what?
Well, so what I'm going to do is,
Oh, I see. Yeah,
so
yeah.
your armor is you got to click both boxes. So that's 2 of your load for armor. You'd have to have a total of 5 load if you want to have heavy armor.
Okay.
So you've got 2 right now. You've got 3 load spoken for. Now you have a total of 7 possible because you are
Right.
But if he took heavy armor, it would reduce it by 2, right?
He'd have to use it twice.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you got the kind of the bruised shoulder,
Yeah.
and the one guy who kind of threw it, he's and starting to like work his way up, and he grabs the knife that had been dropped by the friend who's now dead. And also mark an XP because you rolled for desperate.
Where's XP?
Go down to the bottom of your sheet, and you'll see that black line that says Mark XP Playbook Advancement.
Oh, but that's actually on the actions. On the actions.
It would be up
Attribute.
on your upper
Resolve.
right. It'd be prowess.
Oh yeah, prowess. At the end of each session, it gets marked on that advancement.
Okay.
Because you've got your playbook advancement, and then you've got your you're addressing a challenge for you with tracking or violence, which you have. So at the end of it, you'll end up marking that maybe more than once. If you express your beliefs, drives, or heritage or background, you also mark. And then if you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma during a session, now this is the first session, so a lot of it's creating the characters. But once it's got down, like the actual scores can happen, like 2 scores can happen in a session pretty easily.
So since we addressed the challenge of this door with both technical skill and mayhem, does that mean we get 2?
Don't click it yet. You do that at the end of it because then that's when you find out, do we do 1 or 2? Like, did it happen a bunch of times or did it just happen like once or twice? Okay, so
Blew the shit out of this door is all I'm saying.
yep. Choose side. Okay. So yeah, he's starting to make his way up the steps. Who wants to do something to try to take this guy? Either take this guy out or whatever you do.
I'm gonna lead the cohort down.
Okay.
I'm gonna lead Broke Tooth and Drudge down. We're gonna beat the fuck out of these guys.
All right. So you roll their quality to see how it goes. If you're sending them to, or you could oversee by leading a group action. If you
I'm gonna oversee them leading a group action.
Yeah. So roll command. If you participate alongside them, roll the appropriate action. So yeah, you would roll the appropriate action. The quality of any opposition relative. So their quality is
they're a regular tier, so they're 0.
They're 0.
They're the same tier as us, right?
Do you raise them up 1 with your stuff?
I do.
Okay, so that raises them up by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quality of any
get 1
opposition
armor.
relative to the cohort's quality affects the position and the effect. So one thing it'll do here is, do you want to make it so that it's going to even out something? Do you want to make it so that it goes from desperate to risky, or do you want to make it from limited to standard effect?
Standard effect.
Okay. Plus the risky gets you a
The desperate
XP.
gives me an XP, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I roll command.
Yep.
And they are at desperate effect, but at desperate position, standard effect.
Mm-hmm.
And no bonus dice. What's a
Correct.
devil's bargain look like?
If you want to go a devil's bargain here, the devil's bargain here is you may get caught up for a little bit of extra time, which will actually let them get into the armory that they keep locked downstairs. So they might actually have some like better weaponry.
I'm going to take 2 stress
Okay.
and push myself on this.
Oh, and then that'll actually go 1 for what happened on Dave's roll.
So I got a 4 is my best.
Okay. As you all hit there, so go ahead and get the XP on command there.
Did it?
Oh yeah. You just send them, or are you in the?
I'm commanding. I'm taking them down. I'm not that kind of guy.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, as the 2 of them come in, what's going to happen is they're going to get what are their stats?
I don't know what their stats are.
0, 0.
0, 0. That's right.
Yeah, I can't remember if they have any specific. When Finn commands, it's +1 effect, +1. Oh, plus they have 1 armor,
And they won't break on 3 harm.
Okay.
They'll stay on 3 harm.
So as they manage, they take out the guy, but he actually gets a couple good licks in. If we want to make a note that they have taken, I'm assuming they want to use their armor here.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken 1 harm. So I think if you click the armor and then click on weak, I think that's how that works. 4 levels of harm. Yeah, so that they've got a reduced effect now, and the armor has been taken care of.
Got it.
Okay, so they've been hurt a bit. They come
So
in
we
and
rush down and we take these two out.
yep.
All right.
And Broke Tooth kind of comes back and fuck. And managed to stick me a little bit. You see just like a gash in his side. He's like, we got it. Both of them have taken a little bit of a hit, but that guy goes down.
I
and
smile
the door
at him and
itself
say,
is
"It's
a-
going to be a beautiful scar, Broke Tooth."
And nods. He goes, "This isn't the place the ladies love to look."
Indeed, it is.
All right, the entrance has been taken care of. But now that you're in, let me throw a couple of these out. Oh, and then also that because two sides, a little bit more time for the guards to be alerted, then they have to show up, which will take a little bit. I'm going to throw in.
I'm gonna take a quick bio break,
Okay.
only by necessity.
Actually,
I'm drinking a lot.
I might do that here in a moment too, though I've.
Well,
only
I'll
had
wait
water.
for you.
I'm going to put the following clocks in here. So we've got the crew. This is 6. It'll be a little easier. Oops, I gotta keep hitting roll instead. Token. I did the wrong one. So the crew will be a bit of a problem. So will stash. The stuff isn't particularly well hidden. As you get down, so there's the stash, but there's the crew that's also a problem that are down there as you reach the basement. So if we're good at taking just a quick bio break, and then we can come back and finish up the score.
Be right back.
Excellent.
The UPS is getting close.
It's fun to track.
Yeah, a little creepy that you're like, I know where you are.
I am back.
All right. Okay. At this point, it kind of gives you a moment as you hit through to go back to risky. You are not necessarily in desperate. I think it's possible for one person to end up in a desperate situation and like other people not to be. So, as it kind of comes down the basement, the basement here is actually not used for much as far as the clothier itself is, because they've got the large storerooms in the back. You see some as you kind of head down. There's like a card table. You see it's fairly extensive, but it's one of those places that whatever was made for before, there's not a huge amount of room on the steps to take things up and down. So some of the bigger stuff, it's just easier to use the large storeroom. But there are stacks of boxes that look like they haven't been opened in perhaps decades, still covered in dust. A few of them, as you kind of look, show other businesses that used to be here, papers, records that were kept at one point. But as you kind of come down, one, you can definitely see Razorback, like just a big ass dude who's got his stuff like put into a real thin line of like edge of hair around him, and his whole self just looks like he's like you're not sure he's the exact same species as you. The dude's so big.
Right. See,
And-
this one's yours.
Oh, and actually, since we did this earlier, let's also go ahead and do. Oh, damn it!
Well, here you go, big brother.
Yes, this
Actually,
one's yours.
Let me make a slight difference. That 6 part, that's going to be Jared. The other part, the other 4 one there, that's the crew.
So how many? What's the total number? Of
So
people?
you've got about 6 guys down there. You got Razorback and 4 others, and then there's Jared. He's sitting there. He's got a pistol in one hand, and he's got like a long fighting dagger in the other.
Okay. My first thought is one of my things I can do is it says under sharpshooter I can unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thought is that's what I'm going to do with my pistols.
Okay.
And hopefully hit some of them.
Yeah, to suppress, and one of the big things there is what it's going to probably do is what makes sense is you're probably not doing like specific damage to them, but what
Right.
you are doing is you're reducing it so that either you go into controlled or your effect goes up to standard for everybody else. So the thing is, right now you're making it so that they can actually ideally knock like 2 off of those as opposed to just 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you push yourself to activate this ability, you still get one of the normal benefits of pushing. Yes, you still get the +1, either +1 dice or +1 effect. I'd say for this one, if you want to keep them all suppressed,
Yeah.
+1 effect is what you're going to need because they are a tier above you. So what you're going to be able to do, suppress a small game of 6. They're reluctant to maneuver or attack, usually calling for... So yeah, one, they're probably going to stay down a bit more, but it's also going to allow them to take like a bonus and effect when they attack, particularly while they're sort of under fire.
All right. So what would I roll? Like click on to roll for that? Would that
So
be
it's your standard sort of
hunt?
make your normal the normal sort of range attack,
Okay.
and then you give yourself 2 stress for pushing yourself.
Okay. Is it risky, controlled? What did you say? Controlled,
So this one it's risky,
risky.
and then you're getting a standard effect because you have to push that one up to be able to keep them underneath.
And how many bonus die do I add for that pushing?
1.
Oops. And I give myself 2 stress.
Yep.
Oh,
Shit, son.
That's a
You
critical.
got a critical. By the way, what is everyone's stress level?
I'm
I have
at
a
4.
Mikey has a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool. I have no stress.
Okay. I also I don't know if we'll end up using them too much. It's sometimes good for me to have an idea. By the map on the bottom, I went ahead and put a thing for everyone's stress totals. So if you happen to take some, if you just want to move it forward, because for me it gives me a moment to take a look and see where everyone's at easily instead of trying to like open up sheets.
Sai, are you at 2?
Not that I was aware. Did I take 2 stress at some point? Not notice?
Someone did. It's Doggy that's at 2.
Yeah, Doggy
I
just took
took
2.
two, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did the wrong one. All right, so we'll say so you actually get like a further effect at this point. Let's actually give you both for right now, and it's only going to like for basically this turn. It's going to keep them so both your effect you can go to controlled. Well, technically they're above you as you come in. It goes back to risky. Both controlled and limited, or controlled and standard effect. So right now, with this action here, you manage to keep them down enough that they're not going to do a whole lot to sort of fire back against or do something back against them. So, Cy
I'm
and
going to
Primo,
lead the. Oh, all right.
or Cy or Primo, whoever.
I'm going to lead the cohort since we're at controlled and standard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lead the cohort against Jared.
Okay.
And that would make them controlled and great effect.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and push myself for that. Not that I should, but I'm gonna. I can't change my stress, but I should add 2 stress to that.
Okay, I will do
So
that.
it's controlled and great effect and 1 bonus die. What's a devil's bargain look like here?
I don't have an idea for this one, so we'll just say 2 more stress.
I'll take the 1. I don't need the bargain.
Okay.
I probably do need. I got a 6.
Yeah. So as one like Dave, as you probably see that moment where they're rushing Jared.
Oh my God. Sorry.
So
I never do well.
Yeah, you give them the opening. It's actually where Jared actually pops back up is for a moment he's not being fired at because Dave, you see, oh, they're about to get him. And he kind of pops back up with that pistol just in time for Broke Tooth and Drudge. Just grab him, pull him over the thing, and just like bounce him off the ground. So that's great effect, which does, I think, 3. And bounces him onto the ground, and he tries to like hit back with the knife and such, but they actually manage to pull back a second. And he got the knife, but he is in kind of a bad spot. All right, Cy.
I think they've got everyone suppressed. I'm gonna go start looking for the stash because we're gonna need to get out of here in a hurry.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we have an idea of like which direction to head?
You start like rushing through the stacks of boxes and such trying to find.
Yeah.
Okay, make a roll. I think that would be like the action depends on how you do it.
Study or survey.
Yep.
So I think first I'm just gonna like just look around, kind of
What if
take
you,
a minute to each stack.
Here's an idea. What if you did a flashback where you went to some place that had records of this and studied it there?
All right, yeah. I mean,
So you
because
would already know where to go.
we're already seeing a bunch of other businesses that have been here in the past. So maybe by knowing how long ago each one was, I might know which room was empty the most recently, that kind of thing.
Is that a possibility there, Michael?
Yeah, I think what can happen there is, let me just double check some of the flashbacks real quick. So I'm almost wondering if it makes that much of a difference. Flashbacks during the scene, during the action, flashbacks. So you can take, ordinary thing to sort of find out. If you want to get the specifics, complex, probably looking at 1 stress. I mean, you make the roll. The roll might be the same thing as if he's making the roll now, though. Has any other action items don't entail an action roll, but there's some danger or trouble. They'll just entail a fortune roll. You just find out how well.
Because if it doesn't really add any benefit, then he should just make the roll now, right?
Yeah, because I'm thinking in this one it would essentially just become the same. Or actually, no. Actually, you know what? We can probably do it this way. I think in this case, if you want to spend, we'll say 1 stress, and I'll have you make the flashback. Actually, you want to choose the action you did trying to figure this out.
Right, how are we manipulating the bar? The bar actually.
If you hit right click, can you get multi-sided showing up at the bottom?
Okay, there we go. Okay.
If you show that, that'll just give you a little slider. You can just pull it down.
You said 1 stress.
Yep. That. Yeah, for anybody, if you want to move those over there, all you do is hit right click.
I didn't realize it was a rolling table.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to do those, just a rolling table.
Okay.
And that's what I can also do as well. But if you want to make your roll,
All right.
Would that be study or survey or?
I think I'm just calmly like looking at each kind of section of boxes to try to see like which one is the one that doesn't look like it's.
well, if you're doing are you doing the flash? If you're doing the flashback, that's probably study, trying to find out the information. I guess. I mean, let me know how you did the flashback.
Yeah.
Then we can have you do another one here to possibly just get 2 rolls out of it. Which
in the flashback, I was looking through records, like ownership records. So as I kind of like see like, oh well, this box is from this company that was here, but that was like 4 years ago. So this one's going to be a bit further back.
Sounds like a study.
Okay. And is this is risky or desperate?
Risky.
All right. And what was the bonus?
None.
None.
6.
Damn, son.
Oh! It's
All
like
right.
the second mission.
So you managed to find, like you
box
found
that says-
information about this. Used to be there used to be like a bookkeepers and such here, like essentially accountants. And there's like a very old safe that from the records you found that they couldn't sell it at auction because nobody knew the combination for it. However, it's not a bad place to keep things.
Combination.
So you know roughly where you basically know where it should be because it was kind of safe that it's a little difficult to move. Plus, if you already got people down here, why bother moving it? So now, if you want to spend your action here going towards it, it's only a 2 instead of the 4.
The 2 what?
No, I mean it's only got 2. It's only got 2 ticks that need to be done now instead of the 4.
Yeah. Then I am moving towards it.
Okay.
Beauty.
Well,
Yeah, I'd say if you want to make your roll to get there.
A roll to move.
Yeah, because like, it would be if you're rushing through all this to try to get to it and
So
probably grab
finesse
it. Mhm. And right now it's controlled and yeah.
6.
No,
No,
there's
shit.
6.
She does a flip through the air, lands on the other side of people, break dances for a minute, does a touchdown boogie.
And you're
I'm just thinking like an obliviously calm walk, like through the
And
chaos.
does the
like Mr.
Fonzie knock on the door and it opens?
like Mr. Magoo, just an oblivious walk through all the chaos, like swords just like narrowly missing me. I'm not even aware.
So is this a thing where we just see you like calmly walking back with like the big ass stash in your hands?
Oh yeah. No, Doug's firing frenetically. I'm fighting like a madman, and she's just calmly walking through with stuff in her arms.
Why the fuck are you guys making such a big deal out of this? Let's go.
Right, sis. Right. You heard the cricket. Let's bug out.
Do y'all haul ass?
yeah. Back up the stairs backwards.
Okay, so I think on this one, if you want to make like basically let's probably to see because as they're going to start coming after you, but you're going to definitely have a bit of a head start. You got stuff in pretty good position because they had their asses under cover, essentially. So yeah, if you want to make maybe have one of you, or you want to do a teamwork possibly to make a roll just to escape.
We should do a teamwork roll, and somebody else should lead that.
Yeah. Or maybe like, can I stash the safe somewhere hidden and then like lead them?
Well, you don't have the safe. You've got the stuff with you. The thing is you got them coming after you. If you're trying to leave, part of your thing here might just be trying to get the fuck out of it without.
We're probably gonna.
Or are you gonna want to stay and fight?
Don't see no need for that, boys.
I think. Fuck no.
It'd be fun, but I got 4 coin in my hand.
Remember, part of it was Dave got double 6s, so he got a crit, which made them a whole lot easier earlier, but that's not going to last every turn.
Well, we are supposed to knock
I
him down
want
a
to
peg.
beat the living shit out of Jared.
May as well knock him down 2 pegs while we're here.
All right, so I'm in. Me and the cohorts are gonna fuck off Jared. Right now, we're doing it.
If he survives, that's his new name. Off Jared.
Okay.
So then that means Paul's going to take off, right?
I'll pause at the door and see how it goes.
No, you get the fuck out. You bug
All
out,
right.
Cricket.
I will go with Paul to make sure that we get the stash someplace safe.
Okay.
You should back up slowly and keep
Yeah.
laying suppressive fire.
Yeah,
Yep.
so if you want to roll, make your suppressing fire roll, which will give you, what, 2 more stress?
Sure.
I'll go ahead and move the stress up on. You can put it on your sheet if you want. I'll put it on here, so I've got to.
Is it still risky, or am I?
Yeah, because in this case, because essentially, like, you had them suppressed, but you have to kind of keep doing that. So,
Yeah.
so if you still want to make, it'll be the same as it was last time.
Okay.
6, baby.
Okay. So, yeah, this will. Do you want to make the situation. Yeah, because you got to. Do you want the situation to stay controlled, or do you want the effect you can have on them to go to standard? Because it's either risky and limited is sort of where you start. So you can knock it down so that it's you can knock it down so that it's less risky, or you can knock it down so that you've got you have more effect.
For me, bump the effect up is what
Yeah.
I would want you to do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah. So once again, and as you're firing and keeping them down, and even Jared himself as a couple coming his way, Mikey.
I'm leading the cohort, commanding them. Risky with standard effect or with great effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. What's a devil's bargain look like?
Devil's bargain here will be if you want to take the 1 die. What's going to happen is you will get the extra die, but you're going to make it so you're put in a position where it's going to make it impossible for him to suppress a fire next turn on the crew.
I won't take the bargain.
Okay. And Paul, if you want to make a move, if you're heading out,
I got a 5.
if you're leaving, or is she staying at the steps?
No, she's bugging the fuck
He's
out.
bugging out.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you want to go ahead and make your move roll. Yeah, so Mikey, as it's so limited, so that would kind of bring it up to great. Yeah, so as Jared, once again, he managed to get a couple good blows in, but Jared's kind of up against the wall, he just hits it, and he's boom down. Now, the question is, are you wanting to kill him, which will end up raising the heat a bit more, or do you want to just have him knocked out?
I want him dead.
Okay. I'll make a note here.
Is this a?
I seek my solace in the sweet oblivion of combat. I am killing this motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah.
Since I'm such a calm, level-headed badass right now, is this a controlled roll?
No, it's still risky.
What are you rolling? Prowl?
I'll say this: the cohort, once again, they do take like another wound, essentially.
So that puts them to impaired.
Yeah. So like they're kind of hurt, but at this point, all right, Paul, you are kind of running your ass off. As you head out, you do see that there are a few people running toward what look to be other foghounds running towards the place. The explosion might have alerted, so it's going to take the situation for all of you to kind of haul ass out to desperate, or at least we'll put the outside situation for a moment to desperate, but they're still far enough that you could conceivably still haul ass away. What's happening in the basement?
Now it's time to get out of here. Go, go, go!
Okay, so does one person want to make a? Are you all just trying to like get through the streets and get the hell home?
Yep.
Yeah, Sai, you want to lead us in a group effort to prowl or something?
I don't have any prowl.
Well, what happens if you lead a group effort is that you agree to take stress equal to every person whose
I'll do
biggest
that.
number was 1 through 3.
I can afford it.
But we take the biggest number out of all of us who rolled.
Yeah. And can I take like an extra stress to?
You can you can push yourself by taking 2 stress to roll 1 die instead of rolling 2 dice and taking the lower.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
So what you would do is when you did it, you would, I think we're desperate. Is that right,
Mhm.
Michael? Desperate with standard effect. And then you would roll 1 bonus die. So you would take 2 stress. And then you'll roll prowl at desperate with standard effect with 1 bonus die. Dave, oh, she got a 6.
Damn.
All right, so now we're just rolling to see how much stress she takes.
So what do I roll? Prowl?
I'm going to roll mine, desperate with standard effect, no bonus die. I also got a 6.
I roll
That makes it
prowl.
a critical, right, Michael? If
Yeah.
there are 2 6s
Well,
on the
they count
result?
this. They count the single best result from all 3.
Right, but
So-
if there's
But no,
results
it-
that can be
it-
taken and 2 of them are 6, that's a critical, right?
But you won't. That's the single bet. Your result is a 6. Paul's result is a 6.
3 of us rolled 6s, Michael.
Our headcanon at least is that it's a critical success.
I'll say you get out there without everyone mark an XP for the prowl for desperate.
Mm.
Or on that
So it'd be in prowess, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
as you kind of haul ass back through the
I
streets
can't believe this worked this well.
and made your way home.
And now we retire before we fuck it up.
Yeah, so as you get back, you have just done a hit on a crew that was better equipped, had more power.
Oh, and as we leave, though, I say the ministry has collected its tithes, heathen.
Shit.
Oh yes,
I knew we should have never sent her to fucking school.
Okay. So, what's going to happen here? Someone wants to open up the crew sheet.
I've got it open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do this real quick. Foghounds. You are now at a -1 at least with the Foghounds. You are going to get 3 rep out of this because 2 rep by default plus 1 because the tier is higher.
Yeah.
The coin in this case is the 4 coin.
That we get to divide them. I say we each take 1 and put 1 in the crew.
Sure.
All right. So I added 1 to the crew and then add 1 to your sheet.
Would there be any benefit to giving my 1 to the 2 cronies that came with us?
No.
Okay.
There's other money that's just considered to be spent on stuff.
They got a miscellaneous tenth of a coin.
Yeah. This is essentially what is left once your money's been spent on drinking, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff.
Maintaining your lifestyle shit.
All right.
So this is a high profile or well connected target. They're not a particularly well connected target. So there's no extra heat on that. Situation happened on hostile turf. Yes, you are not at war. There was killing involved, so it's going to add 3 heat to your crew.
I'm sorry.
So now when heat gets to 6, the wanted level goes up.
I think it's 9.
9.
9.
Yeah, let me double check. Yeah.
Are we prepared to walk away when we see
Rep
the
has to go to 12 at first. Heat has to go to 9.
Yep. So in this case, what I then do, so we make an entanglement. Someone want to do me a favor, just roll a d6. Or is there actually a entanglement?
a random fortune roll?
There probably is. Hold on. Let me see. Let's roll engagement, roll fortune. I'm just going to roll fortune for
Yeah,
the
that
entanglement.
works.
Number of dice, 1. Input value, just submit. 3.
Gang trouble. One of your gangs or cohorts faces trouble due to their flaws. Lose face, forfeit rep equal to your tier +1. Make an example of one of the game members or face reprisals from the long... Okay, so I think the very easy thing as far as gang trouble here...
Especially for us is forfeit rep equal to tier +1.
Yep. But no, I think as far as what you end up wanting to do, or face reprisals from the wrong party, there is going... Well, you have pissed off the Foghounds.
Yeah, we did.
You are you killed one of their members.
Yeah, we did.
You are going to end up. There's going to be some raids in your area. Some things try to take stuff over. So either is this one. Part of the thing could be face reprisals from the wrong party, because some of that I think could be. Let me just double check.
Maybe some trouble with the gray coats
How did they figure out who we were?
or gray cloaks or whatever.
I remember you yelling.
Maybe
something.
somebody said the ministry exacts its tithe, bitch.
And I think that might be something that'll be good for like the next game, is to have like where you actually have to deal with some of the trouble, unless you want to lose face, which would lose one rep, or make an example of one of your gang members, or do you want to have it where this kind of becomes?
We'll bring the pikas on. We can take him.
All right, so
you're gonna
from a meta standpoint, I'm gonna say it'll just be easier for us if we lose the 1 rep, because we got 3 out of this. We'd still have 2 rep. We come out of this with a net gain of 200% more rep. However, I think it's
We're the bloody ministry, brother.
we are the bloody ministry, and I think fuck them. We're gonna face reprisals from these lap dogs. I'm sorry, foghounds.
Mm-hmm.
And if these reprisals aren't worthy, we're gonna go kill another one of them.
So what I'm gonna do?
We already killed the tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change
time with these raids.
This to now a clock that's gonna put foghounds sees ministry territory.
Uh-oh.
So it's not ticked yet. There's only they are higher than you, so I'm only making it a 4 o'clock. So this is one of the things where they're going to be coming in and causing some trouble, and this is something that you can do some stuff to take care of by striking back against them or doing something in like a later session, or it can also be one of those things where you end up like taking some bigger problems at the end once that ticks up. So that's where that's at now.
Out of curiosity, would that clock go away if we say took over some of their turf?
Yeah, if you did a score on them, like you could do a score to take care of that.
So we could totally do a score that would handle that 1 clock. We don't have to worry about it right now, but if we decided in the future, we could do a score that would handle that clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, if it gets up too much, it'll the higher that clock is, the more desperate essentially it will be.
Paul and Dave, I'm so sorry that I think that this game is going to take the rest of our lives to play.
That's okay.
So far, I don't mind. Those lives may be short.
Yeah. Oh, and also do me a favor. I put up something out there called Vice Purveyors. If you want to go through and choose one of those for your Vice Purveyor.
Yeah, I'll take 3 vices if they're selling.
No. Look at the Vice Purveyors. I picked
I already picked.
Grist from the fighting pits at the docks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. There's a purveyor.
Yeah, because he's the guy who...
Travin's Smoke Shop in Coleridge is probably yours.
Okay, I'll take that.
What's your vice, sis?
I picked Obligation Charity. None of those really seem to fit, but maybe like one of the faith ones if I'm like helping out with like an orphanage or a battered woman shelter or something like that.
Yeah, that makes
Absolutely.
sense.
What was the name of the smoke shop?
Traven's.
There's Hutton, the Scovelander refugees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Nelison, the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. That sounds like right up my alley.
Where is that? I don't even see that. Oh, I'm on a different sheet than you are. That's why.
What page are these on?
He put up a thing said Vice Purveyors.
Oh.
I put it in the handouts. It's one you can also do a search through the book for. They give a little bit more information on some of those things.
Because mine's not gambling, but I took Grist at the docks because I don't see my vice is getting the shit beat out of me and beating the shit out of people at the docks. Mm-hmm. So Grist, since he handles boxing at the docks, I figured that he's also my vice purveyor, even though it's not gambling.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last thing, after you end the score, you have 2 downtimes. two downtime things you can do. Which this can be acquire assets if you have long-term projects you're working on, if you are recovering, if you need to heal, if you're reducing the heat on the crew, if you want to train for an attribute in the one of your playbook attributes, or if you want to indulge your vice to bring down your stress.
Well, I'm definitely going to go to the smoke shop and replace, get
Well,
some new.
So we should do this one at a time. Dave, we'll start with you then.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the smoke shop and then I'm going to clean my weapons.
Okay, so what you do is you visit a purveyor of your vice and roll a dice equal to your lowest attribute, which is the prowess, which is I'm guessing is probably for you a 0.
Yeah.
When you roll 0, you roll 2 dice and then take the lowest one. And actually, for you, that's probably a good thing because if you roll above your stress, you overindulge.
So is that you rolling for me?
No. So
I roll prowess.
yeah. So what you're going to do is roll prowess. You have
Uh-huh.
0 dice, so it should give you 2 dice,
Okay.
and then take the lowest.
Didn't I just do that? I thought I clicked roll prowess, bonus dice, nothing, and then click submit. Oh, yeah, there it went.
6.
3.
I did it. I did it twice accidentally. It took, for whatever reason, it didn't pop up right away.
Okay. For our purposes, we'll take the bottom one.
Okay.
So that takes away 3 stress, which is
Okay.
good for you because if it was 6 stress, since you've only got 4, what it would do is you'd have overindulged and would have run into some problems. So you're going to be down to 1 stress.
Okay.
If you want to mark it on your sheet, I will mark it on the tabletop.
It's down to 1.
All right, Primo.
I am. Well, that was. He has 2 downtime, right?
Yeah, I didn't know if we want to go through one at a time or like. Yeah, do you know what you to do for your other?
Paul already sneaked.
My other one
is
was
headed to the kitchen. Go ahead. And,
Is what?
I was just cleaning my weapons.
Okay.
that doesn't have any in-game effect.
Yeah, like acquire
Or if
asset,
you're doing that
long-term
anyway.
project, recover, reduce heat, train.
I'll reduce heat.
If you do training, if you train prowess, you would get normally 1 experience on your prowess, but because we have the prowess training, you would get 2 on your
Okay,
prowess.
so I should train.
That's not a
You
bad idea.
can.
I was
Just let you know.
I say for reducing heat, Mikey's the one that killed someone and raised your heat more, so maybe make Mikey do that.
Yeah.
Maybe
All right.
make me do
I will
that.
do some training. I'm gonna do some training.
Yeah, so you got the prowess training. So yeah, your prowess would go up by you get 2 XP on your prowess.
So 2 bonus dice or no?
No, just you mark 2 XP next to your prowess. So on the prowess, notice that you've got like 2 marked already.
Yeah.
You mark 2 more.
Cool.
Once those are all the way marked, you then get to add 1 dot to one of the things under prowess.
Nice.
The other thing you could have done instead of doing that, I'm sorry, is you have a less effect harm on you right now.
Yeah.
Yes, you can visit a physiker, our sister,
Mm-hmm.
and get that taken care of.
It's a bruised shoulder.
Yeah, but it reduces your effect on everything
Mm.
that having a bruised shoulder would affect.
Yeah. I will, I'll keep
Are you
ice.
going to leave it?
Yeah, for right now.
All right.
Because I already did my training and I got, yeah.
I'm going to disappear down to the docks for a little while and participate in beating the crap out of some people to reduce, to indulge my vice.
Okay.
And when you're indulging your vice, Dave, the easiest way is if you look on the sheet, right under the line that says vice and purveyor, there's an indulge vice
Gotcha.
thing. Just click that and then just hit submit.
I'm just going to practice.
And I don't know what I need to do. The highest die result 5 because Dave rolled.
Yeah, mine was ignore that. Sorry.
Yeah,
So mine
Mikey
is
yours
5.
Then you remove 5 stress.
Which takes me down to 1 stress.
Nice. You didn't overindulge either.
No, but then again, I racked up a lot of stress on that score. If I'd have taken a harm, I would have had to have taken the harm or get a trauma right off.
Oh.
And then I'm going to train my prowess.
Okay. And then Paul.
Paul, are you back? He was popping up for a bevy.
And he's muted.
I was muted. I was here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
That Conway's lover, who's also one of the blue coats, just recently got a hand cut off. So I'm gonna start working on a prosthetic for him. Get him back some of the use of his hand. It could be good for a
Now,
favor later, and it's
hold
our
on a
guy.
second. Before you do that, we have thugs who are hurt.
That's my next one.
Okay, I was just because you're the physiker, I can't tell you what project you, and I don't
Yeah.
know how they handle downtime. I don't, Michael. I don't remember how they handle downtime.
There's a healing one too that I assume I could initiate for the NPCs to patch them up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking off their armor click right now. I'm leaving the
Yeah, that
wounds
one
on them,
happens
but took off the armor click.
Conway's. Okay, so you want to make a tinker roll for Conway's lover's prosthetic hand.
Oh, why are you not? Just do it.
Which essentially, I'll make a note here, would end up giving you
Since I'm in the safety of the of home, is this controlled?
risky.
Risky. Okay. Is okay.
It's not, I mean, you're not going to take damage from it or anything, probably, but...
3.
Okay. So, effect-wise, I'm going to... Or actually, risky... Or with I'm sorry, 3, that's a failure. You're working on it, you just can't kind of seem to get it going. And when you get that done, it makes sense for that to become also a +1 status with blue coats.
Okay.
Okay, and then for your second?
I'm gonna start patching up the our flunkies.
All right, so that is Tinker for you as well. I think do you have a bonus for that with this Physiker?
I get a +1.
It's a +1 die for physical.
They get a +1. They get a +1 D. Or
Okay.
do I get +1?
You're the one that makes the roll.
Okay.
Oh,
6.
I'm sorry. You do get one segment with the
The hand.
yeah, with the hand. All right. 6. So 3. The healing clock, and this is for.
This is the cohorts.
That's what's your names again?
Broke Tooth, Tommy, and
Drudge.
Drudge.
Broke Tooth and Drudge healing. This might be a clock we just sort of permanently keep somewhere on the table, even if it's not needed. So with a 6, you get 3 of those. They are kind of in a much better state at this point. As you're starting to get them like the wounds. You gotta keep the idiots down to stop moving around all the stuff and kind of causing more problems with it.
Should I remove them from impaired to weak?
No, not yet. It's once this gets all the way clicked, then it goes down by 1.
Okay.
All right, so that was 2 from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that takes you through the downtime, and usually at that point, there's also things like free role play, and then getting you back into whatever your next score.
Also, if anybody wants to spend one more coin, you can get one more downtime, right?
Yes.
And for every coin you spend, but we only have one coin. But if you wanted another downtime, you could spend a coin and get another downtime.
Are you recording this, Mikey?
I am not.
Or not, Mikey? Michael. I was looking at your name, but thinking of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we do continue playing this in like a handful of sessions, I might want to start going back. Be like, what did we decide to do?
Yeah.
I never want to stop playing this.
Yeah, I'm already in love with this. I hope we do, even after lockdown, maybe.
Well, the thing is, I think the lockdown might be. I mean, I've definitely got summers free. The Mikey's schedule gets a lot more chaotic.
Yeah. Especially Tuesdays are bad if I'm able to run trivia again. And
but even after lockdown, if it goes back to like once a month or once every other month or something, that's fun.
Or once a week.
Yeah, and this is one too where it would be because as you notice, if we had already had characters created, that score took less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours.
Yeah, so that's one where you could do the score, role playing, the other stuff in between, figure out like the next score you're going to do, which might be, oh, we're going to try to grab some turf, or we're going to try to take over some of these things.
Or we might be trying to eliminate that clock. We don't want the heat on you from that.
Yeah. So getting through like
Foghorns.
getting through like 2 scores, it'll be good for me. I can head back and go, okay, what do I need to take a look at as far as like going back through it to remind myself stuff. I love that Mikey's also been doing stuff.
There's one more thing that we have to do before we're done.
Oh
with
yeah,
this
XP
session. And for this, I need. It's going to help Dave and Paul. It's going to help you if you remember exactly which action dot you placed because of your background and because of your heritage. Because a lot of people have an issue figuring out whether they expressed their background or their heritage. And I find the super simple way of saying it is, did you use that skill? That's not the only way of saying, did you express it? But that's the simple way of saying it.
Well, I did contact Ulf to try and get some information. And so that would have heritage.
It's not necessarily expressing it. I will say, in this one, because it was pretty much just create characters and then go straight into it, there wasn't a lot of time for the role playing outside of it.
Yeah.
You talk to Ulf, but it's not necessarily the same as like expressing beliefs, drives, or heritage. Those are things easier to do when you've got a full session that's not the character creation.
Yes. So just for example, I'm going to go first just to make it super easy. Because every time you roll a desperate action, you mark XP. That's already done. We've been doing that. At the end of each session, for each item below, mark 1 XP, or instead mark 2 if that occurred multiple times. First, you addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. I would say okay.
That, because it was the one. It's not each roll you make. It's
right.
It's the like. Again, that's why normally you have multiple rolls or multiple scores in a session pretty easily.
All right. Then we're on the same, because I was like, no, I said, we'll assault this. We addressed this with violence.
Mm-hmm.
That was violence. That was 1. So we're on the same page. Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I used, for my background, I picked the consort because I was Scovlandish, and then the military, I used command. I did command once, consort once. On the very simple, most basic level, I would give myself 2. How do you feel about that, Michael?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But only because I did that way.
Yeah,
and then if you struggled with issues from your vice or traumas I didn't have any traumas. I would normally say no, I wouldn't struggle with issues from my vice, but our whole gang took heat because I insisted on beating Jared to death. And my vice is beating people up.
I can see that caused some problems.
We all took heat because I insisted on killing him. We got a clock because I insisted on killing him instead of getting out. I hate to take an experience for that, but if I'm going to be an idiot for it.
It's the thing the game wants you to do. So I will say, this is the one where if you look at, like, if you remember, like, what you put your stuff on, like, as far as, like, expressing the beliefs, drives, or heritage, or background, kind of like looking at the things that your character did and how you saw them before. Like, if we go with Paul, what is yours? What does your first one say under Mark XP?
Every time you roll desperate action, which we did as we planned, you addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem, and I blew up a door. I feel like that checks off technical skill and mayhem. Mm-hmm. So that's 1 or 2?
That's 1.
Okay. So not 1 for technical skill and 1 for mayhem?
Nope.
It was mayhem, man. Capital M mayhem. All right. You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Study was what I picked for my background, but I don't know if the way I used it really qualifies as...
You did use it to figure out which door to... And with great effect, to figure out where the thing was.
And I could also see, like, I don't know if quite creating the hand is, but yeah, I think... Yeah, possibly, like, with the studying, that kind of goes back in the background. These are things we make more specific.
I might have... My background is kind of like half military, half academic. I may just have to switch it to academic instead of military. Then you struggled with issues for your vice or traumas. No, I didn't really struggle much at all during this. So.
Okay.
You walked through everything.
Yeah. So, Dave, what's yours?
I did roll with desperate action, and I also did do some violence by shooting that guy in the face.
Now, and also when you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background, or do you pretty much only get hunt, or rather you put hunt?
Well, that's the one I use the most. I did
Yeah.
use consort once when I talked with Ulf.
Oh, and did you do you have consort as one of your?
Is under resolve, yeah.
Was it one of your heritage
It
or
says consult
background?
with connections from your
Yep.
heritage, background, friends, or rivals. And
I'll give it to you this time. In the future, because this is something we didn't know about that XP stuff. In the future, like if we role play it out a bit more, you can kind of play with like bringing in that
okay,
aspect of it more.
right.
So
So I would say
that'll be
three.
two.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, because the desperate action is not for the playbook advancement. That's for the attribute
The
advancement.
individual, yeah.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
that we've been doing as we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be looking for like opportunities to express those beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, like using whatever used, like addressing challenges in those different ways, and then if things from your vice or traumas come up, and trauma is what happens when you get too much stress.
Yeah.
You can end up with some traumas, and then as you work those in, all those give you experience, so you can get those other special abilities for your character.
Sounds good.
Cool.